Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku had a villain's quirk part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story 𝐻𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘 from Wattpad. So let's start the video. Deku's POV. Why does 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 hate me? Why does he always hurt me? I sigh as I grab my charred book from the small koi pond. After taking time to dry and fix the tiny bit that was ruined, I begin my walk home. On my way home I mull over what 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 said to me. Honestly, it was kinda tempting, but I don't want to leave my mom alone. That's when I notice a horrid smell. This is when the stupid sludge villain grabs me. His mocking laugh just made me mad. First my classmates and now a random goo dummy. I'm done with it. I then somehow bit him. He yelled in pain and tried to pull away. How are you biting me? Let go, you brat, or I will break your bones before I finally kill you. He screamed, which made me chuckle for some reason. After a bit I learned what his quirk was, how to trigger it, and how to defeat it. After focusing a bit I became a pure emerald-colored goo. I then forced the sludge dude out of me before All Might suddenly punched him. After All Might punched the sludge villain, I helped put him in a bottle and returned to flesh. Thank you, All Might, may I have your autograph? I give him my notebook and a pen to sign it. He signs it and suddenly mid-autograph he poofs into his real body. He looks panicked and I probably would have had my jaw on the ground if I was still an emerald slime. Swear to me you won't tell anyone about this. My real form must stay a secret. All Might yelled at me. I nod and swear to keep it a secret. After a bit of me repeatedly swearing to keep his secret, he calmed down. So, young one, what is your quirk? When he asked, I froze and thought about it. Honestly, I didn't even know I had a quirk, but it appeared after I bit that JRK trying to make me his meat puppet. So either I somehow had the same quirm or my bite copied his. This is when I bite my lip to concentrate, only to wince in pain. After opening my mouth I use my phone to see I have fangs. Great, now I look like if Dracula and broccoli had a kid. As if this couldn't get any weirder, I smelt something. The smell was a mix of steak, metal, and electricity. I began to sniff around. When I got close to All Might he asked, "You okay, young man? What do you smell?" That's when I bit him on the arm. After I realized what I'd done, I had already duplicated his quirk too. I quickly pulled away. I'm so sorry, All Might, I don't know what came over me. You suddenly smelt good and I couldn't stop myself. Before you turn me in for assaulting you, can someone with a quirk like mine be a hero? He never answered me. Instead he called over a hero and said I bit him. I willingly went, but I got a tad angry. My mom got me from the station later and took me to a quirk doctor. Needless to say, he was surprised. When he came back with the results he said, "Izuki, you have multiple quirks. One seems to be an energy stockpiling quirk which we couldn't fully decode, the ability to become a slime-like entity, and one quirk which is very rare. This quirk is called vampire. Unfortunately you now need to add BLD to your diet, but the benefits are good." After explaining that with vampire, I got superhuman speed, strength, and basically immortality thanks to crazy regeneration if I keep my new hunger in check. After that I realized what vampire really was, a quirk duplication quirk. Once we left the doctor, my mom took me out for my favorite meal and we celebrated for a bit. Once we got home and my mom went to bed, I realized I could be a hero. I could finally prove 𝐀𝐮𝐿 wrong and make All Might apologize. Now my way to get stronger is to copy people's quirks. About 10 seconds is all I need per bite and I get a new ability. Maybe I can fuse new quirks together as I collect them. UA won't know what hit it once I become #1 hero. Let the quirk hunting begin. Inko POV. I woke up early due to someone knocking on the door. When I got down I opened it partly and said, "Yes, may I help you?" When I saw a blonde guy who looked like a walking skeleton I gasped and closed the door some. Once he introduced himself as 𝗧𝗓𝗧𝗟𝗘 and as the guy 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 I let him in. "I am sorry that my son bit you." Honestly, I guess the best death experience caused his quirk to form, since when he was 6 he was diagnosed quirkless. "It's okay, ma'am, I understand it better now. I thought he just bit me to bite me before I found that out," 𝗧𝗓𝗧𝗟𝗘 said as he rubbed the back of his head. I want you to know I'm dropping the charges and want to talk to your son. I nodded and woke up Izuku before going to my bedroom to get ready for work. Might as well since I'm already awake. Deku POV. When my mom woke me up and told me All Might was in the living room, I got dressed in some sweat breathes and a t-shirt. After my mom went back to her room he spoke. Young Midoriya, we need to talk. Your bite seems to have copied my quirk. That's very interesting, so have you used it? I simply shook my head and yawned as I grab a bag of BLD from the fridge to drink for breakfast. I haven't tried any of my quirks since after I got released we went to a quirk dock then had supper. After a bit of him explaining the quirk and hoping to see me at UA. Once he left I saw my mom off to work then grabbed my temporary quirk hunt suit. Simple black jeans, slipknot shirt, black shoes with some spikes, and a simple hat with built-in sunglasses. That's when I headed out. Luckily it was a Saturday so in the area around me most people were asleep or drunk from the usual Friday party. I walked out to the nearby drunk assembly point. Basically if you got drunk there were points in my area where you could go to eat, drink coffee, and sober up some. I began to wonder if me biting someone would make them sober up or not. When I got into the small diner I headed up to the counter and asked, "It's okay if you don't, but do you have food options for vampiric quirks?" The waitress shook her head as some guys around me laughed. Vampiric quirk? As if such a quirk exists. One guy said as he laughed and ate his burger. I got a bit irritated as I ordered an almighty burger meal with a water. Once the waitress walked away I looked at the guy. If you said that a few days ago I would have believed you. I'm actually a late bloomer with a vampiric quirk. He just laughed and said, "So what does your vampiric quirk do then?" When he did the air quotes I saw red. Before he could blink I moved him and his seat near the door. Once he realized what happened I laughed. That's only the tip of the iceberg, buddy. Need a lift back? As he began to say yes I moved him back. Honestly that could just be super speed not a vampire quirk. Before you say your fangs are proof there are ways to replace teeth with fake ones. The guy said not wanting to believe me. I sighed and the waitress walked over with my food. "Earl, be nice to the kid. Your quirk is like a werewolf curse so maybe there's a vampire counterpart." He chuckled and apologized as I ate some of my burger. What did she mean by that? I asked curious. "I can become a wolf at will but since I'm an accountant I don't really use it," Earl said as he offered his arm. "I guess if you want you can bite me. Just don't make me into one of you." We both laughed at the dumb joke but I did bite him. His quirk was much more than he thought. His quirk is if he eats hair from an animal he can become it if he focuses on them. After the 10 seconds I pulled away. "Thanks for the drink and you need more iron in your diet." He nodded and we talked for a bit before I finished eating and went home. Once I was home, I bought a lot of different animal hair samples from a science website. Main ones I got was different bats and household pets with black fur. Well, this morning was productive, now let's go get more. I got up once I ordered it all and headed back out. This time I decided to target thugs or something. After a bit of a bus ride to a more dangerous area of town. Once there I barely walked 10 steps before two idiots cornered me. "Hand over your money or else," one of them said with his fingers now knives with jagged teeth similar to a saw. "Hurry up, shrimp, we don't have all day," his friend said. This guy had some sort of gem body but he was shifting between flesh and the odd gems and crystals. "So before I do it may I ask what your quirks are first?" "I'm very curious," I asked while I looked closely at the knife fingers and the parts of crystal dude that would shift. Knife was stunned. "Wait, you're not afraid of us?" I shake my head as I poke at the gems. "Can you feel anything through these? If not maybe if they match diamonds or whatever you can sell them." Both stayed quiet but looked at each other with, "What's wrong with this kid? Looks." This is when I chose to strike. I quickly bit Gem Guy on the arm but since I accidentally tore off a bit of his flesh and swallowed it his quirk was instantly mine. When knife fingers attacked me I stomped on the ground and caused a wall of pigeon BLD to block him. I then looked at Gem as he grew a crystal there. "You've not fully unlocked it all but my hunch of them being real stones is true. Use them to buy your way out of this country and never return." He ran instantly after I finished talking. Once he was clear I made the wall go back into the ground as if it was never there. "Okay, knife fingers, let me drink your BLD willingly or I'll take your life." I was obviously bluffing but he fell for it. His quirk was simple but very adaptive. I can make any part of my body grow simple metal objects, and if I felt like it, can use them to climb walls like Spider-Man from my great-grandpa's comic collection. Thanks for the meal, now leave. Become a cook or sculpture maker and put your quirk to good use, or else I'll kill you. Needless to say, he ran. Happy with today's bountiful hunt, I decided to go home and test my new powers. After roughly 2 hours of testing my quirks out, I fused 𝗀𝐮𝐿 and metal growth together. The results lets me grow stuff like knives with diamond blades, which I can easily detach and keep forever. When Mom came home and saw me grow a 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 sword with a golden handle, she freaked out. I told her I was attacked and accidentally bit 2 guys copying their quirks. Once she calmed down, I asked her to keep it a secret, as I was scared villains would want me for my quirk copying nature. After supper, I went to my room to think about what I have done. I attacked 2 people and hopefully scared them straight. I figured out more of my quirk's abilities, and I lied to my mom. What scared me more is how much I liked the fear in their eyes and how easy it was to lie to my mom. Was I now a villain, or am I something in between a hero and a villain? Quirks so far: Fangs for One, biting and drinking someone's blood for 10 seconds or eating a piece of their flesh lets 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 copy their quirks one for all, same as in the manga and anime Sludge Morph. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 can become an emerald-colored slime at will animal morph. By eating hairs of an animal, 𝐒𝐮𝐽 is able to become them if he focuses on them. 𝗀𝐿. 𝐒𝐮𝐽 can grow gems and crystals on his body and remove them. If he wants, he can summon gem structures, then make them vanish. The gems/crystals will match naturally found versions. Metal growth. 𝐒𝐮𝐽 can grow metal from his body and shape it into simple objects like knives, screws, and a bat. On their own, he can't remove them, but he can choose any metal if he knows its chemical makeup. Crystalline metal growth. 𝐒𝐮𝐽's first fusion quirk, which lets him grow items of both metal and crystalline bases. He can also reabsorb the created objects. 𝐒𝐮𝐽 POV. It's been roughly a week since my first hunt. Each person I've gone after had worthless quirks. One lets me run super fast, which I could already do, some strength enhancers which would be worthless without one for all, and Fangs for One, and a quirk that lets me change my eye color. Actually, the last one is useful. I can now give my eyes a spiral pattern and use it to hypnotize and claim it's part of vampire, which I'm claiming on my quirk section of my ID. I've decided to go hunting near 𝐸𝐸𝐻's hero agency. The villains around there are usually tougher, according to the news reports. After getting my hunting outfit on, I went to 𝗂𝐻𝐶 after telling my mom I would be home late. While on the train, I see Gem Dude from my first hunt. Deciding to torment him, I walked over. I thought I told you to leave the country. I quickly looked him over, seeing that he is dressed much nicer. I'm sorry, Fong, but I did take your other advice. Me and Kyle, the one with the knife fingers, we decided to get a job at a jewelry store. We've made a lot of money and went straight. I just went to my old place to grab the last suitcase of my stuff, and I'm taking it to my new apartment in 𝗂𝐻𝐶. At first I glared at him which is hard to see through the sunglasses, then smiled. Good to hear, Gemhead. I hope the bite healed well. She stared at me a tad stunned. You're not mad? And the bite vanished about a minute after I ran. With a laugh, I shook my head. No, I'm glad you listened to part of my advice. I hope you and Kyle do awesome at your jobs. We talked for a bit and she showed me some of his and Kyle's works. A very detailed snake band made of green gold with fire opal eyes was my favorite. I like this. Can I keep the picture? I'll make a version of this for my mom later. He just nodded and gave me his email. Since you got me and Kyle on the straight and narrow, you make an email and message us and we will send you all of our designs. It's the least we can do. Small note, there's actually a green gold. Green gold. This alloy is created by mixing silver, copper and zinc to yellow gold. 18K green gold will be greener than 14K green gold. When the train stopped, we went separate ways, him home and me to the bank. Before I left, I noticed a pattern of local bank robberies and figured the bank I'm heading to was next. My hunch was right when, after waiting about 10 minutes, 3 idiots barged into the bank and said, "This is a robbery, don't notify the heroes or pull any stunts and you all will live." I nearly barfed at how cringy it was. Couldn't they have said something else? After everyone laid down on their stomachs, I quickly moved behind them. You three are horrible. This is a robbery. Come on, I could have come up with something better. Now listen to me, drop to the ground and pray all might saves you before I rip your ignorant heads off. As I gave my threat, I formed a mix of black tungsten blades and fire opal spikes all over my arms and head. Under my clothes I made diamonds form similar to a bulletproof vest. Now will you listen or die? 2 dropped down and I glared at the last one. This guy was a gorilla with odd purple crystals, extra bows to no one. Okay Max Steel villain wannabe, it's your funeral. As I said that, my body moved on its own. I actually bit his head off. The pigeon's BLD helmet I formed cut off his head as I bit on his forehead, getting his quirk. A simple quirk where he can become any character from an animated show. With their abilities, I dropped his head and bit the 2 cowards. Their quirks were basic but useful: walk/run on water and a phasing quirk. That bite marks you. If you 2 do another crime you'll end up like 𝐀𝐮𝐿 here. With that I walked out only to see Endeavor. Normally if fanboy, but seeing him up close I got an instant hate for him. Kneel villain or I will make you into ashes. No asking what happened, nothing. He just threatened me, which only made my BLD boil. This time I actually wanted someone to die. With a smirk under my helmet I yelled, how about you just let me leave and you claim the 2 bozos and their dead friend who actually tried to rub this place. When his answer was his signature, Prometheus Blast, I formed a quick diamond wall behind me, shielding the people in the bank as I took the main part of the blast. The diamond shielding I had easily absorbed and moved the heat elsewhere, and any minor burns I got instantly healed. Bad choice number 2 hero. Now how about you let me leave or... I waited a few seconds and deepened my voice to sound threatening. I'll season you with salt and pepper and sear you over a campfire. I guess this startled him as he took a couple of steps back. How did you survive that blast, you freak? Now I'm madder than 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. I chuckled and started to walk over to him. Diamonds are pretty good at transferring heat, plus I've gotten worse burns from a set-off Pomeranian. With those words I formed 2 fire opal blades on my wrists with black tungsten veins going through them. Now back down or die. I rather not kill a hero. Villains I am fine with, but heroes I'm iffy on. Guess he wanted to double down cause he used his fire to launch himself at me, then carry me into the sky over 𝐻𝐿. After we got pretty high up I made my crystal helmet open up just enough for him to see me. Since you're about to die, I'll let you see my face. His eyes opened wide in shock as I bit off his head, ate some of his forehead. Needless to say, but when we landed we caused a massive crater. Before running off I impaled his body and head on spikes of fire opal and removed the protective wall I formed. Once that was done I ran off to my secret spot where I stashed a backup matching outfit. Once I was changed I walked through a few valleys where I met another teenager. Half of his hair was snow white while the other was BLD red. I quickly walked over, I knelt in front of him. His clothes and arms were burnt. Are you okay? Do you need help? He shook his head and looked up at me. I'm fine, I'm just hiding from my dad. I sat next to him and sighed. I'm guessing your father burned you. What in but? Why isn't he in prison? His response couldn't have been timed better. It's because he is Endeavor and all his crimes are overlooked. I chuckled some. Well, I guess you can say karma got him. He's currently dead and impaled on spikes of fire opal. When the dual-haired kid looked at me in doubt, I formed a fire opal shell over my unique hair and turned my eyes black before removing my hat with built-in sunglasses. I'm guessing you want proof. Before he can do anything I mimic Endeavor's stupid fire hair and mask. After a few seconds I stopped the fire, replaced my hat. I killed him and copied his quirk. If you want revenge you can fight me. What he did next shocked me. He started to laugh and cry. After a bit he hugged me. Thank you so much. My nightmare is finally over. If I could I'd like to pay you for killing him. When I finally understood his reaction, I hugged him back and gently pulled away. I just want a drink. Well, two actually, something strong and some of your BLD. I need something to wash his bitter taste out of my mouth. Seriously, he tasted like a turkey who was deep fried for way too long mixed with ash. I stick out my tongue and made a wrenching noise, causing the boy to laugh. At least he didn't taste like flaming. At this we both started to laugh uncontrollably. When we both calmed down he took me to his house where we both drank some soda and I drank some of his BLD. As a test I made sure to leave a good amount of spit on him. Before he could say you, the spit vanished, his burns healed as if they never happened, and the bite mark vanished. So my spit heals, that's new. Must be a part of my natural quirk. When he asked, I told him about Fangs For One and the quirks I've copied, including his. He didn't freak out, he just shrugged and accepted it. When his older brother and sister arrived a bit later, he said, "Dad is finally dead. May his soul burn in hell and his murder get away with it." I honestly expected his siblings to berate him. Instead they cheered as well and brought out some vintage wine from a very, very long time ago. After a couple of glasses they realized I was there and said, 𝗀𝗡𝗍𝗘, who's this and why is he wearing sunglasses?" Laughing he said, "Brother, sister, I'd like to introduce you to his murderer." When he said that, I quickly jumped off the couch and close to the doorway as I formed some tungsten blades on my hands. Instead of them screaming or attacking, they thanked me, the guy who just killed their father. That's when they told me their history and swore not to tell anyone that they met me. Deciding to trust them, I removed my hat. "Well, it's a relief that you're not mad at me, but instead of calling me Fangs, how about you know my real name, 𝗧𝗜𝗓𝗏?" After that we talked and played some games before a cop knocked on the door. I quickly hid as a bat since the hair I ordered arrived pretty quickly and there were some good places to hide in the rafters as one. They talked to the cops pretending to be heartbroken, but 𝗀𝗱𝗃 acted uncaring, which actually suited him. When that was all over, I changed back and stood near the door. "I think it's best I leave, just in case family friends arrive." They agreed and gave me their numbers, and after a good 10 to 15 minutes I ran to the train and went home. When I arrived my mom cornered me. "Please don't tell me you killed 𝗀𝗃." I didn't want to lie to her, but I somewhat did. What I told her was that I was hunting for quirks and met 𝗀𝗱𝗃 covered in burns. After I healed him using my saliva, he told me 𝗀𝗃 did it and his hate for him. I then went home with 𝗀𝗱𝗃 and met his two siblings who hated 𝗀𝗃 as much as he did. Then I told her about the bank bit and me killing 𝗀𝗃. My mom by the end of this was furious. I thought she was going to blow a fuse and hit me until she said, "That 𝗬𝗍𝗍 deserved to die. Did you make it quick and painless or slow and agonizing?" I told her the former, and she told me that I were to kill someone like 𝗀𝗃 again, make sure it lasted a while. She took me out to eat katsudon and when we got home gave me a new outfit. My new quirk hunting outfit. At first I thought it was a ninja costume until I saw some holes in my palms and other areas, so I wouldn't ruin the outfit forming them. From now on wear this, my crystalline ninja. I don't care if you become a hero or a villain who kills evil people, just know I'm proud of you, 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃. My mom hugged me then headed off to bed. Get to bed and this weekend we can do some research on different villains and heroes. Let's change the world. I just laughed and told her good night before going to bed. I slept really peacefully, no guilt or nightmares. Instead I dreamt of a future where everyone quirkless or now are treated equal and no hero is in it for fame or money. Let the cleansing begin. Quirks so far: Fangs For 1. Biting and drinking someone's blood for 10 seconds or eating a piece of their flesh lets 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 copy their quirks one for all, same as in the manga and anime sludge morph. 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 can become an emerald-colored slime at will. Animal morph. By eating hairs of an animal, 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 is able to become them if he focuses on them. Crystal calling. 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 can grow gems and crystals on his body and remove them. If he wants, he can summon gem structures then make them vanish. The gems/crystals will match naturally found versions. Metal growth. 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 can grow metal from his body and shape it into simple objects like knives, screws, and a bat. On their own he can't remove them, but he can choose any metal if he knows its chemical makeup. Crystalline metal growth. 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃's first fusion quirk, which lets him grow items of both metal and crystalline bases. He can also reabsorb the created objects. Animation mimic. 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 can become anyone from an animated film or TV series and use their abilities. Water walker. Self-explanatory. Phase state. This quirk lets 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 walk through walls that are not lead, radioactive, or thicker than 1 foot. Asshole's fire. 𝗀𝗃's quirk, which 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 is planning on destroying later. Might put it in an animal then destroy it. Half hot half cold. Shoto Todoroki's quirk. 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗃 POV. It's been months since I've killed 𝗀𝗃. Shoto and I have been meeting up every few days where he and I hunt down possible quirks for me to use. Yesterday he somehow found a base for the League of Villains. Apparently he has seen at least 7 different people walk in and out. After I've watched the place for about a week, I decided to just walk in wearing a disguise. After putting on my Quirk hunting outfit, I form gems over my eyes and hair. I headed into the building. Once inside, I saw it was a bar and there were already some people there. A blonde girl with fangs throwing knives at a dartboard, a scar face with staples all over, some vapor person who's cleaning a beer mug, some blue-haired guy with a hand FDSH, and a Deadpool ripoff. Before I could even say something, HF caused a glass to decay into dust. Get out of our bar before you end up like that glass. If this had happened before I got a quirk, I would have ran like the devil knew my name. For some reason I just chuckled and removed my head, showing my fire opal cap and eye covers. I'm sorry to intrude, but I just need a drink. Some of my gems are still singed. Apparently this is enough for them to realize I killed 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿, since all of them except Smokey to back away. Blondie, wait, you killed hothead number 2. My reply was a simple nod as I make his flames appear in one of my hands. This caused a voice to come through a small TV. I didn't notice at first, so you can take quirks too. How exactly is your done? I glared at the TV. I don't answer cowards who don't show their faces. This upset HF so badly he instantly tried to decay me. Before he could touch me, I quickly moved to another stool which was behind him. Calm down, hand. I was just stating a fact. My comment made the rest of the people here laugh, or at least that's what I think Vapor Face was doing. Kinda hard to tell with him. TV, calm down, 𝗏𝗏. Everyone can have their opinions. HF/𝗏𝗏, but sensei, he called you a coward. TV, enough 𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏, can you warp our guest to me after he gets his drink? Vapor Face/𝗏𝗏, as you wish, 𝗏𝗏. So what would you like to drink, number 2 killer? Me, can everyone just hold out their arms for a bit? Unfortunately I only drink BLD, and don't worry, the bites instantly heal and I won't take much from you. Even you, Vapor Face, I can still drink from something that's not solid. Blondie instantly put her arm out. If I can bite back, we are even. The rest were hesitant until the TV told them to, since he didn't want me to be thirsty when I visit him. Once everyone had their arms out, I bit them all. I mean, 𝗏𝗏 had a decay quirk which might be useful to escape people. Bleached Deadpool had a duplication quirk which might be very useful to spy on people or create alibis. 𝗏𝗏 was surprised when I was able to bite him. What kind of fangs do you have? I shrugged and liked my lips as I copied his warping quirk. No clue, but you taste really good. Blondie and I traded bites, but instead of her getting BLD, she got a mouthful of pigeon's BLD. She spit out the gems and pouted as I gained her BLD-based transformation quirk. Staples and Bleached Deadpool laughed at her expense. Blondie growled after getting the last gem out. Keep laughing, Dobby, you're next, and his fangs do burn. I bit him and instantly tore off a section of his arm. Before he could yell in pain and try to kill me, his arm instantly healed. Dobby pinned me to the wall before yelling, "What the F was that? But that hurt." I chuckled. Sorry about that, Dobby. You taste just like your father but less ashy. I couldn't help myself. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. If his skin wasn't ash gray where he wasn't scarred, I bet his face would have turned snow white. The bar went silent until 𝗏𝗏 warped me to the dude who was talking through the TV. The room, or whatever I was warped to, was cold, dark, and large. Once I got back onto my feet from the sudden warp, I changed my eyes to see in the dark and looked at what used to be a man. Lots of life support machines connected to him and no face except for his mouth. So you can see in this darkness. What all do you have quirk-wise? The living corpse asked. I've lost track since I've killed the number 2 hero. Your followers' quirks are useful, but they don't have full control yet. They've barely tapped into some of their quirks except Bleached Deadpool. I replied as I form a diamond chair to sit on. So what do you want to talk about, TV man? He laughed and said, so you finally awakened your fangs, son. It's been a long time, 𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗏. I made sure to sound oblivious and confused. Who's that? I honestly have no clue who you're talking about. I do go by Fang though. He laughed and breathed some fire from his mouth, which he quickly put out when he accidentally got a machine. I know my own son. It's been 9 years since I've seen you and 𝗏𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. I walked over to the guy claiming to be my father with rage. I slapped him and bit him, copying every single quirk in him. When I hit his original quirk All For One and a vampirism quirk, I instantly knew those two made mine. Once I was done, I backed away. Great, my dad is a villain. The one thing I hate worse than fake heroes. I understand now why you left, but why didn't you try to contact me and Mom? Did you know what I went through for the past 10 years? My voice was filled with rage and bloodlust, but when he replied, I knew he was sincere. I knew what you went through, but if I hadn't locked away your quirk so it would only come out when you're about to die, it would have been worse. A son of a villain usually get killed. If I could, I would have stayed and trained you, but with All Might chasing me, I had no choice. I laugh. So the person I used to idolize is the reason my father left. Well, he's the reason I see the truth behind heroes. He's next on my murder list. But I'm going to make it a big event. Where all are you hurt? After he told me, I spit on him, which began to heal him before he got mad. The machines in him popped out as his body was restored. I think I may have went overboard as he began to look like a 14-year-old like me. Sorry, Dad, I didn't know it was so potent. I rubbed the back of my head as I undid the gems on me. Looked at each other. I realized the only difference we had was hair and eye color. His snow white and mine a lush green. That's when I came up with an idea. Hey Dad, wanna cause some hell at UA with me? You look like my twin after all. When he realized it, we both smirked, and I created an emerald version of 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and walked into the bar. 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘, where did Gemhead go and why do you have a warp quirk? Dad, sit down 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟 before I remove your quirk. 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟 quickly sat down as he recognized his voice even though it was younger. I copied everyone's quirk when I bit them. My quirk is very similar to my dad's. I told everyone with a smirk. My dad then said, my quirk is All For One, just like my villain name, but my son's is more advanced with his. I can't copy quirks, but he can, and without prolonged contact. Now if you excuse us, we have 9 long years to catch up on. We started to walk out when Blondie stopped us. Okay, so why do you look like twins and you owe me some BLD? She gave me a creepy smile when she said I owed her. I accidentally overdid my healing spit so he got younger, and all I said was a bite. Never promised you BLD, that's my boy. We both laugh as I warped us home, leaving a room of shocked villains and one pissed off Beach. After I showed him around our new house, which I paid for when I beat up robbers and gambled in fights I knew I'd win. Dad was surprised that Mom was okay with it. I chuckled and showed him some diamond-bladed knives, some jewelry and such. It helps that I bribe her, but she's glad I'm changing the world one false hero at a time. That's when Mom came home. Hey Izuku, who's your friend? As she asked, she was putting away the shopping and pulling out the ingredients for 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Inko, it's been a while. I'm sorry about what I have done to you and Izuku. My dad actually was sorry and looked it, but I couldn't help but chuckle. Dad, I can't help it, but you act like me when I'm sorry. It looks so silly and cute. I fell to the floor laughing, causing my dad to glare at me and my mom to hug him and cry. Once we all got ourselves back together, we all caught up and ate supper. That's when I told Mom my plan to really ruin people's views on heroes with Dad. Mom, our plan is to claim Dad as my long-lost twin, which you thought was dead. We will both then go to UA and learn all the quirks we can and all we can about heroes. Dad chuckled. I will get the paperwork done to make it look real. Once we get into the school, we will cause small villain events to happen until we ruin the school's reputation. Once that is done, we reveal ourselves and kill all the heroes at once. Honestly, Izuku, how much have you planned of it already? I smirked. I've planned out some events, but not where or when. We need to get into the school to do that bit. Also this. I gently bit my dad, but instead of drinking his BLD, I blew, imagining the quirks he didn't have getting copied into his body. Once I was done, I watched him use gem calling for a bit. Do you still have this in your collection, son? You'll need it to keep up your appearance as the 𝗬𝗧. We all laugh at the joke and I formed my swords. Trust me, Dad, with us both having Fangs For One, we will be unstoppable. Let's change the world one bite at a time. Izuku POV. It's roughly been 2 months since Dad and I have reunited and started training at a nearby beach. We cleaned it together by moving it into a pile and crushing it down a lot. Once we got a complete pile, we waited till it was nighttime to eat it, thanks to a metal absorbion quirk which turns metal into energy and makes our other quirk stronger. Honestly, it wasn't much of a boost, but it was a start. We fought each other on the beach for a while as a way to help Dad adjust to his younger body and me to learn multiple fighting styles. Dad, 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, why don't we quirk hunt later? We could use a few more fighting or creation-based quirks. Me, I guess, but there's not many that are easy to get to. The Monkey King quirk is in America and the only creation quirk I know is. Dad, after waiting a second, you think of something 𝗀𝐿𝐿. Me, what would happen if we fused AFO with creation? Would we be able to create anything without any drawbacks, or would we be able to make quirks? Dad, I don't know, but let's find out. Where's the creation quirk at? After we train till the sun sets, we decide to head to the 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 estate. Once we got near, Dad started to laugh. As I gave him an odd look, he called someone on his phone. After a minute of him talking and using a voice-altering quirk, the gate opened and a guard lead us into the house. Once we entered the mansion, we were led to the foyer where we waited. That's when a young woman walked in and bowed to us. Momo, hello, I am Momo. It's nice to meet the kids of one of the stockholders in my parents' company. What's your two's names? Me, I am 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and this is my twin brother 𝐬𝐻𝐼. We both were hoping to train with a person getting into UA through recommendations. I must apologize in advance just in case. Our quirk is vampiric in nature and we might bite you. Momo, wait, those kinds of quirks exist? I thought they were a myth. Dad, laughing a bit, no, they are quite real. Depending on how much BLD we have, we get stronger or faster for a limited amount of time. Me, there is a werewolf quirk too. I met a person with it in a dinner once. Momo, quite interesting. I'll remember your advanced apology just in case it happens. She then gave us directions to the private gym and went to change into her training outfit. Once we got there and put our bags down, I looked at my dad. Me, how are you connected to the 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 company? Dad, he sells me gear or does us favors while we steal patents, trade secrets, or kill for him. Very good deal since it's very easy. Once I got that answer, we removed our hoodies, leaving us both in sweat breathes and a tank top with thick-soled shoes. When Momo walked in, I nearly got a nosebleed. She was in a red bikini top and but shorts with light blue sneakers. What my dad said next made me slap him, but we both laughed at how absurd it was. Dad whispering in my ear, if only I wasn't married and was actually this age. Momo, you two ready to train? Dad, yes, but why are you in a swimming suit? Momo blushing, my quirk is creation and it requires my skin to be exposed. Once we hear that, we both apologize for being insensitive and get ready to train. We started off with some hand-to-hand fighting between the three of us before we did some quirk-based fighting. As I punched Dad into the air, Momo shot me with a Fing cannon. After I get over the shock, I quickly dash to behind her and bite her arm. When I had copied her quirk, I moved away only to see her blushing as she tossed me new breathes and shirt. I didn't understand why at first till I quickly looked down and rushed to a nearby bathroom to get into the clothes. My dad was on the floor laughing, since what I didn't realize, when she shot me, all my clothes except for my boxers and shoes were vaporized. After changing, I walked in blushing darkly with my dad still laughing his demon head off. Me, I am so sorry I bit you basically, and I didn't realize it as I hit BLD frenzy. 𝐬𝐻𝐼, if you tell Mom I'm destroying your favorite plushie. That threat made my dad quit laughing, causing Momo to laugh and apologize as well. Once we hot drinks and a small snack, Dad and I left, scheduling another training session in 2 days, without the cannon. 𝐬𝐻𝐼/FOPOVH as we walked home, I glared at my son. Me, I swear if you touch any of my plushies, I will tear off your arms and make you eat them. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 only nodded as he messed with Momo's quirk. Once he was done, he smirked as he caused a tail to pop out of his back and hair grow over his forearms. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, Dad, we can create custom quirks now. I have a few quirks I want to make for fun, but immortality, a furless monkey king, and a knowledge quirk are definitely needed. Me, I agree, but what are you making for fun? If they're powerful enough or just able to cause chaos, I want them. Also add shapeshifting to the list. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐴, one lets me create specters just to screw with people and claim it's vampire. The other lets me copy items and abilities from anime and such. It's honestly a boost from the become an animated character Quirk I copied before I killed 𝗀𝗀𝗧𝗟𝗘. Me, I thought you were just claiming it. You actually killed him. 𝗀𝗬𝗂, yep, and made his 3 kids that were living with him into villains. 𝗀𝗱 lead me to you. We then headed home and gave each other quirks as we made them. As a joke I created a fart laser and gave it to 𝗀𝗬𝗂. The timing couldn't have been any better. The literally second I gave it to him before he fully understood it, he farted. An emerald green laser left his rear, hit a nearby car's side mirrors, then hit a bookstore's window causing its alarm to go off. The look on his face was priceless. The perfect mix of what just happened, holy 𝗧𝗟𝗘, and anger. Once he got over his shock, I ran home as fast as I could with him cussing me out as he chased me. 𝗀𝐻𝐭 was waiting for us with a cast iron skillet on her lap. 𝗀𝐻𝐭, now boys, why are you home late? My sweet cinnamon roll cussing, and an alarm going off nearby. 𝗀𝗬𝗂, we are late because we went after a certain quirk. The alarm and cussing are both Dad's fault. 𝗀𝐻𝐭, so 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘, care to explain what quirk you 2 got and why those 2 things are your fault? She then began to hit the pan to her hand, glaring at me. I love 𝗀𝐻𝐭, but she scares me. Me? The quirk was creation. With it fused with AFO, we can literally create any quirk we longing with the drawbacks we want, if any. Well, I used the quirk to create fart lasers, gave it to 𝗀𝗬𝗂 right before he farted, causing him to destroy a bookstore window. Just as I finished saying that, she literally used the cast iron skillet to send me through the door and into the street. Once she fully registered what happened, she apologized, helped me in with a boosted telekinesis 𝗀𝗬𝗂 gave her, and started laughing. After 𝗀𝐻𝐭 got me in, 𝗀𝗬𝗂 fixed the door. 𝗀𝗬𝗂, Mom, do you want more quirks? I know you just prefer the psychic type, but with quirk creation you can make any quirk. 𝗀𝐻𝐭, sure, why not? Just don't give me anything with farts or lasers. 𝗀𝗬𝗂 went to bed angry as 𝗀𝐻𝐭 and I laughed our butts off. I gave her some quirks before we watched TV together until we fell asleep on the love seat. How much I missed civilian life. 𝗀𝗬𝗂 POV, it is finally time to do the test to enter UA. For the past few months Dad and I trained with Momo and created some vampiric quirks to use with what we already had. Once we had gotten a good few, I registered my quirk, changing the quirk bit on my ID from quirkless to ultimate vampire. Dad of course finished his fake paperwork and put his quirk as the same thing. Under quirk description we simply put, ultimate vampire boosts our natural abilities and gives us more as we drink BLD straight from different people. Dad, ready to take the test, son? Do you think we should go on a small feeding frenzy after the test? Me, no need. I created a new quirk I called Quirk Eyes. It copies any quirk as long as we look at its user. For example, I just have to look at 𝗀𝗀𝗧𝗟𝗘 in person and I got her quirk. Dad, your mind scares me. You must think 5 moves ahead at chess. Me, actually I think 20 ahead and at least 5 possible reactions for each. Plus I created a mind-boosting quirk so I can do a lot more. After that little chat we ate breakfast, which was fried egg sandwiches and a glass of BLD. Mom wished us both luck and sent us on our way with a few pouches of BLD just in case we go into a frenzy. As we walked here I gave Dad the new quirks I made. Me, 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘, since this is a hero test there might be a hidden objectives. If someone gets in trouble, help them out. Dad, only to do our plan. Hopefully we will both be in the same testing zone so we can work together and get a higher score. Me, not likely, but it may happen. If we do end up in separate ones, don't work with anyone but help if they are in trouble. I read the pamphlet they sent in the mail. There's 4 robots and all are really big, so building in their test zones may be destroyed. Dad, so rescue if needed, destroy bots otherwise. I simply nodded and we both talk about different shows we enjoyed and some very old cartoons. When some guy with a shark head bumped into me and didn't apologize, my dad flipped him and made him apologize, calling him a street shark ripoff. When I asked, he explained it was an old American cartoon with mutants caused by science instead of quirks, and there were a few other cartoons like it too. Once we got to the school I tripped only for some brunette to stop me from falling. She apologized for using her quirk. Brunette, I'm sorry about using my quirk on you. I just believe tripping before a test is bad luck. I'm Uraraka Ochiko. Me, it's okay. I'm Midoriya Izuku and this is my brother Hisashi. I'm guessing you're going after the hero course too. She nodded and the three of us talked as we walked up to the building until 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 struck. 𝐻𝐿𝐿 Katsuki a 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, move it you worthless Deku. He shoved me into my dad. Then look at us. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, what the F? How the F are there two of you deekus now? Me, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 meet my twin brother 𝐬𝐻𝗧𝗟𝗘. My mom thought he died right after 𝐵𝐻𝗧𝗟𝗘, but instead he was illegally adopted. We just reunited after summer break started. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, great, now I have to deal with two quirkless losers. Dad angrily, don't call us deekus or worthless, also neither of us are quirkless. We are both just late bloomers. Now apologize to my brother or else. He then showed his fangs to 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, making sure he saw how sharp they are. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 quickly backed away, not expecting it, which made me chuckle, showing my fangs. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, really Deku fake fangs? Come on, there are no such things as vampires. With that, Dad and I got the same idea. We both grab 𝐀𝐮𝐿 and carry him to the entrance to the school's property in less than a second before getting back to where we were. We both laughed as 𝐀𝐮𝐿 looked confused. Once we stopped laughing, 𝗂𝗏𝗏, Dad, and I went into the school to start the entrance exam. Dad and I aced the written portion of it and quickly went to the auditorium to wait for the fighting bit. As 𝐻𝗧𝗏𝗏, the loudest, most annoying hero ever, was explaining the bots, some blue-haired nerd interrupted, making me groan. Blue hair. According to the pamphlet, there are 4 bots, not 3, so either your notes are wrong or you made one major misprint. Also, you two twins, using your quirks to move a person away from the building is not heroic. If that's the only reason you're here, leave. Me, it was a small prank on a friend of mine, and I am sure that if you had stayed quiet he would have explained the bit you were asked. Now how about you sit down and shut up before I move you to the door? 𝐀𝐮𝐿 was stunned, the blue-haired guy sat down, and Dad was proud of me. Present mic, as I was about to say, the 4th bot is a 0-pointer that must be avoided. Also, if anyone else interrupt the broccoli and cauliflower-looking twins, have my permission to escort you out of the building, thereby failing you. After that, no one interrupted until the section where you were allowed to ask questions. We were then split up to our respective testing areas. Dad and I were at the same area along with 𝗂𝗏𝗏 and the blue nerd. I was going to help calm down 𝗂𝗏𝗏, who looked tense, when blue nerd stopped me. Blue, don't you dare ruin her focus. If she fails, I'm blaming you. Me, look blue hair, I'm going to calm her down to return the favor for her helping me earlier. Now you're being a hypocrite by sticking your nose in my business. Now get in line and shut up. I quickly walked over to 𝗂𝗏𝗏, calming her down, causing her to smile and relax some. Once she was relaxed, Dad and I got ready, mirroring each other's starting pose since we both had an attack plan. Once Present Mike said go, we caused a sonic boom as we ran in and raised hell. We would trade off tossing bots and destroying them, so we both had the same points. After we both got 60 each, we felt the ground shake and people started to run away screaming. We both saw why. The 0-pointer was taller than a 4-story building and was heading right for us. After looking it over, I saw 𝗂𝗏𝗏 was trapped under some rubble from the building the bot was destroying. Me, you save her, I got the bot. Dad ran down and started to throw the rubble covering her at the robot, freeing her as he attacked. I then jumped at the robot, forming a giant blade of pigeon's BLD. Once it was fully formed and I was close enough, I cut off its head and kicked it into an area with no building or people, causing a crater and the head to be a metal pancake. Of course, 𝗂𝗏𝗏 thanked us, and Present Mike grabbed Dad and I, leading us to the principal's office. Principal 𝗎𝐻𝗧𝗟𝗘. Hello, 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘 and 𝐻𝗧𝗟𝗧. I'm Principal 𝗎𝗧𝗧𝗟, and before you ask, no, I don't know what species I am. Now you're both here because you both have the same quirk. What aspect of it did you use to form that blade? Me, drinking some BLD. Sorry about drinking in front of you, but creating the BLD crystal sword makes me hungry and I don't want to bite someone. The blade was made of my BLD and some water from my body. We don't know how far our quirk goes ability-wise, but one big drawback is that if we overuse it, we go into a BLD frenzy where we bite people. It does make us stronger but causes people to hate us. Dad, honestly, we are both learning about it because we both are late bloomers. It wasn't until the last day of the last school year and 2 months after for us both to manifest our quirks. 𝗎𝗎𝗓, so which one of you bit All Might? I looked down and raised my hand as my dad looked at me surprised. Dad stunned. You bit our idol. Why didn't you tell me you met him? 𝐻𝐿𝐿, well, even if you didn't apply, All Might wanted to have you accepted to UA, but I didn't know you had a twin. We told him the lie, he believed it, and we left. Once we get back to the entrance to the property, we get stopped by 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Dad and I wanted to slap him as he started his attempt to bully us. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, I saw you both got 𝗧𝗠𝗱𝗃 to the principal's office. Did you 𝐷𝐾𝐻 get banned from the school? He starts to laugh. Dad, no, we were told we were both going into class 𝐿 when school starts. We both passed with flying colors. We even destroyed a 0-pointer. Me, yep, and if you do end up in that class with us, I will not tolerate bullying. If you try to, there will finally be consequences. With him stunned by what I was saying, Dad and I headed home to eat supper with Mom. We were all proud that we both were instantly accepted, but we wouldn't know our scores until the letters were sent out. After supper, I texted Momo. Me, hey Momo, Hisashi and I got instantly accepted. Momo, that's awesome. Do you know which class you are in? Me, Principal 𝐻𝐿𝐿 said, 𝐿1 Momo. Then both of you are in my class. Me, awesome, I will see you in 2 weeks as classmates. The letter with our scores will show up next week and class starts the week after. Momo, okay, see you then. Let the 3 of us all be awesome heroes. Me, the greatest true heroes. Good night. After that I went to bed. When the week was over, we got our letters and we found out we both scored over 200 points cause we both got shared points instead of individual points, since teamwork is another hidden point gainer. Mom and Dad was shocked but proud of me, but then they decided to talk to me. Dad, son, I know the main reason you joined the school is to destroy fake heroes, but if you'd rather be a hero, I will support you. Mom, we both know you wanted to be a hero as you grew up, but the choice is yours. Me, I already am a hero. Killing in 𝗏𝗏 got me a family calling me a hero, and from now on we will live a double life. We will kill heroes only in it for fame and arresting people for no reason. We will be true heroes, making the world a much better place. We may be called villains, but we know the truth, but we will have to change the League of Villains. Dad, that's my boy. He and Mom then cried as the 3 of us planned our new plan to change the world one country at a time. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 POV's dad and I hopped through my bedroom window after another hunt. I groaned as I flopped onto my bed. My dad looked at me confused until I started to talk. Me, these past 5 hunts have been horrible. We only find thugs and heroes, so weak a glue-based Quirk could stop them. One's weakness was literally grapes. He should have been a cop instead. So worthless I couldn't resist upgrading him some. Dad, I thought that was what you were up to. Hopefully he becomes a great hero. Me, if not I will kill him myself. I'm gonna shower and get ready for class. I took my shower and got ready for school as Dad did the same thing after me. Mom took our bloodied clothes and masks, cleaning them before we left. We made some bets on who our homeroom teacher will be and if we will skip the orientation assembly. Dad, I am betting ectoplasm and we go to it. $50 to the winner and the loser has to use fart lasers for a day. Me, I bet it's Eraserhead and we don't go. His quirk would be very useful to teach students control. Also, he's kinda cut back on his underground hero work. We walked into our classroom and I literally growled. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 is in our class. The entire classroom went quiet as I walked over to 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Me, feet of the desk 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and no BS, this year got it. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, what are you going to do, Deku? Cry to your clone for help. Me, Mr. 𝐒𝐿𝐿𝐴, may I move him to the hall? The entire class looked confused till what everyone thought was a bag behind the teacher's podium stood up, revealing his face. Some girls screamed thinking it was a giant man-faced grub until he unzipped his yellow sleeping bag. After looking me over, he began tossing everyone gym uniforms. 𝐒𝐿𝐴, you must be 𝐒𝐿𝐴 Midoriya, and the answer is no, yeet him to zone beta outside. Dad, I got the window. He walks over and opens it for me. Once the window is open, I grab 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 by his school jacket. His smirk didn't leave his face until I spoke again. Me, all aboard Air Midoriya, there are no seatbelts or safety equipment, so tuck and roll when you get there. His smirk vanished and he turned pale as I threw him through the open window. The entire class watched him fly through the air and create a crater at where we were about to head. 𝐒𝐿𝐴, now everyone get changed and head to the crater. That was 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. We are skipping orientation, so let's go. About 6 minutes later we are all there along with an old lady who was healing 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Once he was healed he grumbled and got changed. That's when some midget with grapes on his head poked me in the legs. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, hey, but do you have a history with that angry guy? Also, I'm 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻. Me? Yes, he's my former bully. I'm done with it though. He nodded and 𝐒𝐿𝐻 called me up to a circle. Once I was there we waited for 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 to arrive since he didn't want to repeat himself. 𝐒𝐿𝐻. Now Midoriya, since you and your brother got the top score at the exam, I want you to toss this ball as far as possible using your quirk. Just don't leave the circle. Me? I'm guessing the ball has a tracker on it. Does it have a speedometer as well? When 𝐒𝐿𝐻 nodded I looked at Dad with a slight smirk. Me? Can we test our fastball too? My brother and I want to see our limits and catch up on lost time. 𝐒𝐿𝐻. As long as you don't leave this circle I don't care. Me? 𝐻𝐵, let's play some baseball. Mr. 𝐒𝐿𝐻, you may want to back up some. After I tossed the ball to my dad and he got in position for him to pitch it, I formed a bat made of pigeons BLD, scaring a bunch of the class including 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. I got ready to hit the ball and when Dad threw it causing a sonic boom I hit it. The sound of my bat hitting it caused a giant boom and created a large crack in the ground. I did the same for Dad and needless to say we both got infinity for this section score. We did the other sections and we kept first place the entire time. Last place was my 𝐻𝐻𝐿 who looked down. When Momo tried to cheer him up, that little grapist groped her butt. I saw red and I pinned him to the ground while I made my nails BLD red and much longer. Me? You pervert. How dare you do anything like that, and you say you want to be a hero. Now apologize and straighten up. My 𝐻𝐻𝐿 crying scared. I'm sorry. I promise not to be a pervert anymore. Please let me go. I let him go only for 𝐒𝐿𝐻 to grab him in his odd scarf. Dad then handed me a BLD pouch which I quickly drained. Me? Sorry about pinning you down my 𝐻𝐻𝐿, but I hate womanizers and I needed to drink some BLD. 𝐒𝐿𝐻. All of you go to lunch, then go to your next class. My 𝐻𝐻𝐿, you're coming with me to the principal. We all went to the locker rooms, showered, got changed, and went to lunch. Dad and I sat with Momo and 𝗂𝗏𝐻. Momo, I'm glad that we are in the same class. I hope you've made your outfits blast-proof. When 𝗂𝗏𝐻 asked for what that meant, I covered Momo's mouth. Me? Just something that happened during training. Bro, Momo, please don't embarrass me. Also Momo, I designed our outfits with BLD storage for us. 𝗂𝗏𝐻. So what's your quirk? I saw you make a bat, grow your nails, and your physical abilities are astounding. Dad. Our quirk is called Ultimate Vampire. Basically, the more BLD we drink from different people, the more powerful we get. It also helps us heal faster. We still don't know our limits yet. Me? I have an idea we can try later. I read that according to some people that vampires could boost others' abilities. Dad. Oh yeah, and hypnotize them. Maybe we can use that to cure my 𝐻𝐻𝐿. Momo. So how would we test the boosting bit? Me? It's done by a bite if I read the tales correctly. I wonder how it'll affect your creation quirk. Momo, let's find out. I gently bit her arm and boost her quirk by swapping out her need to use her body fats and skin exposure out so she collects energy from the air and can form items through her clothes. Once I let go of her arm, it instantly healed back up. 𝗂𝗏𝐻. Wow, how does it heal so fast like it never happened? Dad. No clue at all. It could be either our spit or our teeth inject a quick healing venom or something. As we were talking, Momo began to test out the edit I made to her quirk. She formed a parrot doll on her shoulder through her uniform. She then realized she was drawing energy from the air around her and chuckles a bit. Momo, boost to quirks proven. I just formed this through my clothes and I didn't use my body fat. I drew energy from the air and made it into the doll. So maybe you can boost more people later. Me drinking some extra BLD, bad idea honestly, I nearly went into a BLD rage. So maybe one person a week as of now, plus we don't know how long it'll last. If it ended mid-fight, who knows what would happen. We all nodded and went to class to finish the day. As Dad and I walked home, he teased me. Dad, you have a crush on Momo, don't you? You hoping to make her love you so she will become a true hero? Me, yes to both, and I'm not boosting anyone. I had to use a new quirk to change hers, but I made it have a drawback so I don't just boost people on a whim. Dad, good point. Now should we just relieve the 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 of his perverted ways or give him a taste of his own medicine? Me, what are you planning? Dad, make him into a female, hypnotize some men to sexually harass him, and undo it the next day. I bet 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 would enjoy it. Me, oh yeah, you lost the bet. You owe me $50 and I'll only make you use laser farts during our next hunt. Dad laughing, what a crappy way to go. Death by farts. We laughed and joked on the way home as I wrote down the punishment idea to give 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 tomorrow. I got my money and we killed a low-level hero from America that night. The dude left America because he was caught abusing his wife. Needless to say, death by farts was way more than he deserved. I would have tortured him for a while then killed him, but this would be one embarrassing way to teach him his lesson. FOPOV, I stumbled down the hall after some special time with Mrs. Needless to say, my son was a bit surprised when he saw my body from years ago. Son, oh morning Dad, so that's what you looked like before all jerk-off ruined your face. Me, yes my son. So what shall we do today to that, what did you call him, the 𝐒𝐮𝐴? Son, I hope you don't mind, but I tried something using 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗀𝗫. Needless to say, 𝗀𝗫 wasn't too happy. Me glaring at him, son, what did you do to him? Son fidgeting, I injected 𝗏𝗏's BLD into him, causing him to become a taller, burnt version of 𝗏𝗏. He then pulled out a picture of the results. If 𝗏𝗏 wasn't right next to 𝗀𝗫, I would have thought she padded her BR, dyed her hair, and did cosplay burns and stapled to make herself look like 𝗀𝗫. In the background of the picture, 𝗏𝗫 was on the floor laughing in a pile of dust which used to be a chair, 𝗀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 was bent over laughing over the bar, and twice, well, he looked like he was trying to take pictures with a brownie. Me, please tell me this won't last forever. Son, don't worry Dad, I undid it after I took this picture. Maybe we use 𝗏𝗏 or 𝗏𝗏𝗏's BLD on 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and have lesser perverts chase him. Then once he is caught, have it wear off, revealing they just chased a boy all day. Me, wow, you are devious. Remind me to never ground you. I'm actually scared of what you'll do. I cooked up breakfast and changed back into what we have nicknamed twin looks. Once 𝗧𝗜𝐿𝐿 and I ate, we told 𝗀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 bye and went to school. When we arrived, we saw the little grape-headed pervert 𝗀𝗜𝐿𝐿, a girl from the support class. She was beating him with what looked like a jetpack prototype. My son quickly ran over and encased the pervert in a shell of 𝗏𝗏𝐿 BLD. He then apologized to the girl who tapped at the shell. 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃𝐿, wow, what is this crystal? Can I have a chunk of it? Son, I rather not lose a bit of my BLD. I'm 𝗬𝗏, what's your name? May, oh sorry, I'm 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃𝐿 and I was hoping to use a chunk as a blade for one of my babies. Me, my son, and 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃, babies. May, sorry, that's what I call my creations. Me, I can give you a chunk of a gem called 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃's BLD later to test. It looks very similar to our BLD crystals. Now bro, let's get the pervert up to 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴. He's not going to like hearing this. Son, good point Hisashi. I may see you later. After 𝗧𝗜𝐿 picks up the caught 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃, we walk to class and wait for our teacher, if you can even call him that. Once he walked in, he sighed and pinched the bridge of his nose. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, please tell me that you're only pranking 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃. Me, unfortunately not. As we walked onto school property, we found him 𝗀𝗏𝐿, a student from the support class called 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃. 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃, they are lying. I would never grope her big melons. Him saying that got him jabbed in both eyes by 𝗂𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. Son, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, we may have a way to teach him and some other students who are lesser perverts a major lesson. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, let's talk about this in the conference room. 𝗧𝗜𝐿, you can reabsorb your BLD 𝗂𝗏. Momo, please strap 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃 to his chair. After the 𝗒𝗏 was tied down, 𝗧𝗜𝐿 left with 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 to explain his idea. Uraraka, Hisashi, what punishment did you two come up with? Me, since we are able to somewhat modify quirks with a lot of focus, 𝗧𝗜𝐿 thought up another less strenuous use, right after saying that 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 walked in with a very menacing smile. The entire class went silent and 𝗏𝗏𝐻𝗃 said himself. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 sent Ishido to get the janitor before letting 𝗧𝗜𝐿 talk. 𝗧𝗜𝗑, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 is letting me handle 𝗂𝗏𝗃. I mean Minatta's punishment for 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, so I need a girl to volunteer to help, and Momo, we will need your quirk. Also Denki, go to 𝐬𝐿𝐵 please. After he left, only Momo volunteered to help more than just her quirk. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 bit her arm for a few seconds, then bit Minatta. What happened next was kinda shocking, but thank goodness 𝐂𝐿𝐵's tape stretched a ton. Minatta first quickly grew up to Momo's height in about 10 seconds and his ball shrank into his head. After that phase was done, his body began to swell up to match Momo's as his hair grew out but kept its purple color. After a few minutes of grapist wiggling in his chair, we saw a purple-haired version of Momo. With them side by side, I saw that the newly changed pervert was more gifted in a couple places compared to the original. What struck me as odd was he now had a permanent purple pearl necklace and bracelets like the moms in certain films I will not name. If 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 did that on purpose, I might have to give him the talk sooner than expected. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 with a very wide smirk. Momo, I am sure you know what to do now. Momo, actually yes I do. I think my old hero suit design will do, but I'll BLNDFLD him so he can't look at his body while he is changed. She then dragged him to an empty classroom with a very evil smirk. The other girls followed, including Ishido, as she arrived with the janitor. Small note here, her old design is what we see in the anime. The rest of the class wanted answers, but 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 shook his head and said be patient. After a bit the girls returned with a dolled-up Minatta. The suit really clung to his body and was purple. Momo, I redesigned it so that it can't be removed, plus only lasers able to cut through titanium can cut it. Also 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, I've noticed her great balls moved to her wrists. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 walked over and looked. That I didn't expect. I thought his hair just smoothed out. Are they still sticky? Momo, not at all. But he can form them into swords and throwing stars. He actually tried to cut off our uniforms, but the blades were dull. Once Momo said that everyone through the entire school felt 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵's bloodlust. He then grabbed Minatta by the ear and dragged him to 𝐬𝐿𝐵. Aizawa had us all follow but lead us to the observation box where 𝐁𝐿𝐵 and Denki were, and they had popcorn ready for us. 𝐁𝐿𝐵, if this kid's plan works, when he graduates he's going to be hired as head of DS-Pyun. Minatta's POV, once 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 got me down to 𝐬𝐿𝐵, he let go of my ear and smirked. After I rubbed my sore ear, I realized I wasn't there alone. There were about 20 guys and 2 females looking at me and 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, welcome to a new special event which will randomly happen throughout the school year. This is Minatta and she has volunteered to be the prize. Whoever can catch her before the school day is over gets 1 date with her. Actually, she's kinda more being punished. We caught her 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, a fellow classmate. At 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 saying this, I tried to run, but he grabbed me by the back of the revealing outfit Momo and the other girls put on me. The boys chuckled and the girls giggled as their auras showed how dirty-minded they were. Is this how bad mine is? 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, the rules are very simple, no leaving 𝐬𝐿𝐵. If you leave you will forfeit your chance at your date, but if Minatta leaves, all of you get 1 date with her. I don't mean flowers and dinner date either. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵's smirk as he said that made my BLD run cold, but what made me realize that I was really screwed was when I heard them all start whispering to each other. My perverted ways have now come to bite me in the rear. I just hope it doesn't become a real bite. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 as he releases his grip on the outfit. Let's give Minatta a 10-second head start. 2. I booked it. I ran as far and as fast as I could to a section of the site where I wasn't near a gate out and I wasn't out in the open. As I waited for my heart to quit pounding, a fist came through the wall next to me. When the dust cleared, I saw it was the 𝐒𝐿𝐵 of the 2 females of the group. Girl, found you, now stay still so our first date can be planned. I can't wait to reenact Midnight Sky too. I screamed and ran when she said that last part. If she didn't mention that book I would have let her catch me, but that book put an ancient book called 50 Shades to shame. I tried to climb a nearby building only to get stopped by a guy literally walking on the wall. Guy, I can't wait to have you in my web. When he literally shot webs at me, I jumped down and rolled before running off again. This was only 2 of the people there, and if they were the least perverted, I am screwed if anyone else catches me. If this is how I make girls feel, I will never do it again. After about an hour of dodging everything tossed at me, I managed to slip away and hide in a building. Inside I found 𝐒𝐮𝐿𝐵 drinking BLD from one of his pouches. He looked so smug. Me, alright enough already, I get your point. I swear to be less of a pervert if you'll just call this off and undo what you did to me. 𝐬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, I don't think you've fully learned your lesson yet. Hey guys, she's in here. If time had slowed down to where 1 second is a minute long, I still wouldn't have had a second to think. They all flooded in through the doors or broke the walls to get to me. Once I saw an opening, I ran by them and into the city. I then began to wonder what everyone else was up to while my new curvy but is being chased by the pervert party. FO's POV, the entire class was enjoying the show, especially the girls. They were actually cheering into the headpieces the contestants were wearing. That's when 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 finally told the rest of the class 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's idea. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, since detention and a fine wasn't enough to stop 𝐼𝐻𝐻's perverted ways, 𝐼𝐻𝐻 decided that a taste of his own medicine would be the best course. We had the acting studies class practice there. Skills and chase him. Now this is only a test run, and if it works well next time we will get SXL offenders in to run the perverts through the gauntlet. He then sent a glare at Denki, who shrank in his seat, getting the message crystal clear. Ida, isn't a punishment like this a bit over the top and illegal? Nizu, normally yes, but since hero schools are special we can discipline our students much harsher to make sure they become good heroes. Also, I authorized this punishment in the hope that 𝐼𝐻𝐻 may be a fine hero one day. With everyone satisfied, we looked at the TVs just in time for 𝐼𝐻𝐻 to bump into a girl and bury her face in his melons. His face and scream when she began to grope him made all the girls in the class have to run to the bathroom laughing. Even some of the guys had to leave. Me, please tell me you're recording this. Nizu, I am going to give everyone participating A1 and Mei Hatsune a copy of this. I bet they will love it. Me, everyone but 𝐼𝐻𝐻. 𝐼𝐻𝐻 POV, I've been groped, catcalled, webbed, covered in several different SXL outfits, and nearly caught so many times I've lost count. I began to cry and try to find a place where no one could get me. Eventually I found a partially destroyed building where there was plenty of places FO hide. Thankfully 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 was there waiting. Me, please 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, undo this and end this contest. I swear I will never be a pervert again. I won't peep on the girls changing, try to grope them, or make dirty jokes ever again. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 responded after looking me straight in the eyes, you're finally telling the truth. You've learned your lesson, come with me. I followed him with my head down until we found everyone in the town square of 𝐶𝐻𝐵. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 then bit my arm again, but instead of what felt like him trying to blow me up like a balloon, once I was back to my normal body, he covered me in a blanket he somehow gotten. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, 𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐻, you have something to say. I began to list off every girl I groped, told a dirty jokes to, and peeped on, and then apologized to each one of them. What that was done, the group of people who were chasing me began to laugh. I looked up confused as the midnight wannabe walked up to me. MW, I'm glad you learned your lesson, and now don't make us have to finish this event, okay? I nodded as they all left, with 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 smirking even more. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, they were awesome actors, but I was kinda hoping you wouldn't learn your lesson. You just met 𝐶𝐻𝐵, the perverted actors. Now they knew this was to only get you to learn your lesson, but should you mess up again. He got into my face. I will personally pay them to do this again and have them actually take you on a date, understood? Me, understood. I will never do anything perverted until I'm married, and even then only to my wife. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, good, now get changed. School's over in a little bit. Thanks for the free day. Also, just so you know, Principal Nizu recorded this so Mei knows how you got punished. I ran to the boys' locker room, showered, got dressed, and headed to the observation room where I apologized to each of my female classmates. Now that this is over, I need a new hobby. Maybe I will collect cool rocks for a while, because my hobby of writing down girls' measurements and my 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 plans for them now makes me sick. FO POV, I was waiting in the classroom for our next teacher to walk in. After a while I turned to my son. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, which teacher do you think it will be? Midnight or All Might? He chuckled. I bet it's All Might, and he warps his usual catchphrase. Let's do $80 this time and add $20 for if the person warps their catchphrase. I'll put you as no warp. I agreed, only for All Might to go. I'm here and coming through the door like a normal person. As everyone goes fanboy/fangirl, I gave 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 his money and sighed. All Might, Today we are going to do some battle training, but what can heroes be without their costumes? As he finished that statement, she presses a button on a remote, causing numbered briefcases to pop out of the wall. He told us which site to go to before we all grabbed our suits and went to get changed. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and I decided to F with all might by wearing business suits with special sunglasses that can become a hood similar to the one I wore to keep myself alive when I had to change hideouts. Our suits were both BLD red, but our ties' colors matched the other's hair. We were the first two changed and we waited for the rest to arrive. Momo came out shortly after us. Her outfit was a BLD red version of an old comic book villain's outfit called Catwoman, but she added some mini generators on her legs just in case she needed to make something really big really fast. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 had to look away and steel his nerves as he almost instantly gets a nosebleed. Momo, what do you two think of my outfit? It's based off one of my favorite ancient comic book characters. Me, it looks nice Momo, though the three of us kinda match now. Momo, well 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 did boost my quirk, hence the red. I hope you two don't mind. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 stuttering, I don't mind Momo. His face was so red you'd think he was wearing a skin-tight mask that matched his suit. Momo, good, maybe once we graduate we can all work at the same hero company. This causes 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 to go into supersonic mumble mode. Even when I slowed down time he was talking too fast. Me, color me impressed, I can't even keep up. I doubt even the Flash could. Once everyone arrived, All Might explained what is going on with 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 still going. As he randomly teamed everyone up, he put us three as a team because our matching outfits. He did slow down a bit when he saw what 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and I were wearing, but continues almost as if nothing happened. He then used what looked like pool cue ball to select which teams will fight each other. Us against 𝐒𝐵𝐾𝐽 and 𝐒𝐮𝐴 with us as the villains. How fitting. Momo after kissing 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's cheek to snap him out of it. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, if we win, how about you and I go on a date? The second the word date came out, 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 picked her up, grabbed the faux bomb, and ran into the selected building in roughly 3 seconds. Me, wow, I think 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 has a major crush and she likes him back. I soon followed him, forming my mask, causing me to smirk under it as All Might froze in fear. Using Momo's quirk, we set up traps and set up our plan of attack. 𝐒𝐵𝐾𝐽 would most likely go after 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 alone, and 𝐒𝐮𝐴 is so by the book he would check every room on every level. That's when our big plan was formed. Momo would guard the weapon as 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 taunts 𝐒𝐵𝐾𝐽 onto the roof. I would go to level 1 and deal with 𝐒𝐮𝐴. We all got into position, and once I was on the bottom floor I heard my son taunt. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, yo, nuclear Pomeranian. You better go through the front door and deal with Momo, cause if you go against me. He pauses a bit, then talks so menacingly my BLD ran cold. I will drain you of all your BLD. When the timer started for the heroes, I heard a bunch of explosions heading up to 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, meaning he fell for it. When 𝐒𝐮𝐴 stepped through the door, I pinned him to the wall and kept him there with pigeons BLD crystals. Me, wow, he's hot-headed. Sorry about your instant capture, but it's the game. Plus I want 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 to go on his first date soon. 𝐒𝐮𝐴, I understand and I'm sorry about my partner. I hope 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 enjoys his date. From what I've heard about 𝐒𝐵𝐾𝐽 bullying him, he deserves it. Me, wait, 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 was bullied. Tell me all you know. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's POV, I smirk and flip off 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 before backing away from the edge, drawing a pigeon's BLD fencing sword out of my I then activate my mask. According to Dad, it's modeled after his fighting mask made into personal health care in a helmet. The piping is replaced with a BLD DLVY so we don't go into a BLD frenzy. When 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 flies up onto the roof, I point my sword at him. 𝐀𝐮𝐿, okay you worthless Deku, you are dead. He aimed his giant grenade gauntlet at me and quickly pulls its pin. I took the blast, and once the dust settled I gently brushed off my outfit and taunted him again with me flipping him off. He simply growled and tried to blast my mask off, but right before he can activate his explosions I'd hit his hand away so he would just blast behind or beside me. After about 5 minutes of me just hitting his hands away, he got really mad and pulled both pins on his gauntlets. Right as he pulled the pins I quickly moved behind him so he just caused a crater where I was standing. I then removed my mask and bit him, drinking just enough to knock him out. 𝐒𝐮𝐿, DMN, you taste horrible. I am definitely never going to drink your BLD again. You taste worse than when your dad burnt the steaks. I pick up 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, run down picking up 𝗀𝗡𝗀, and stopping at the door where Dad and Ida was. Dad released Ida and we marched him off to the observation booth. Momo, since tomorrow is the weekend, how about we have our date tomorrow at noon? Me, sounds perfect and sorry about you not getting to fight any. Momo, it's fine, but if you ever go to the villain side I would join, so I am not on your bad side. When we got to the booth I got yelled at by All Might for drinking 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 BLD, flipping him off, and intentionally making him destroy the building. I had to hold my dad back so he doesn't kill 𝗂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨. I then said I didn't bite for 10 seconds and walked away. Everyone was confused by what I meant, especially Momo. I sat in the back of the room and starting drawing out of boredom, not wanting to watch any more battles. Soon 𝗂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 will be destroyed and by my hands. Hypocritical bstrd. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 POV, I sighed as I sat on the bus to some odd training place. After a few minutes I try to sleep only for Frog Girl poking me. 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and 𝐻𝐵. I remember you both saying you were catching up. What did you mean by that? Me, we were separated at BART. Mom never told me, thinking 𝐻𝐵 was dead. Dad, I was raised never knowing about 𝐻𝐿, and when we both bumped into each other shopping we just knew. He unlocked his quirk a month before, so when we met mine instantly manifested. Uraraka, that must SCK. How do you two know Momo? Momo, their dad is a stockholder of my family's company and asked for a small favor for them to train with me. Denki, must be nice training with a hot babe. Me blushing. Yeah, except when she goes overboard. She shot me with a cannon. Momo, I'm glad you brought back up clothes. I thought you'd dodge it. Mina, did you see his special zone? That caused Mineta, Tsu, and Uraraka to hit her upside the head. Well, Mineta just tossed one of his ball into her mouth to act like a GG. Me, nice aim Mineta. I'm glad you learned your lesson. Mineta, actually I got a girlfriend a bit after the nightmare punishment. She kinda keeps me on my toes. Me, is it Midnight Fangirl from the punishment? Mineta, actually her sister. She is cuvier than her sister and has a much more refined taste. Dad, I'm glad you found a girl, but what do you do? Mineta blushing, I'd rather not tell. Unfortunately it's somewhat like the punishment. Me, I can make you talk using hypnosis. I won't though, I hope you tell me later. It sounds like an awesome story. Mineta, she actually wants to meet you. Hopefully it's not too soon since I don't know how much longer I can last with her. The bus laughs some since the first week or two with the grape-headed midget tired out everyone. I motion him over. Me, I can make you more developed. From 3'0" midget to 5'6" teen. It may be a tad painful but I can help you out. Mineta, how about after we do the training so I can sleep during it? I nodded and dodge a frog tongue which catches a fly behind me. Tsu, sorry, frog instincts sometimes take over. Dad, you'd probably win playing Frogger. Tsu, what's Frogger? Dad, very old video game similar to an app called Quirky Road which I've seen you play. I can't really explain it and I will try to find an emulator for it. For the rest of the bus ride we just joked and teased Mineta a bit. All in all we were becoming friends, but if they ever found our plan who knows what would happen. 𝐻𝐿 POV, we had finally arrived at the USJ and I remembered the date from a previous meeting with the League of Villains. I looked at my dad and he nodded. The entire class enters the building only for Uraraka to go crazy because 13 is there. 13 is also known as the space hero because of their outfit and their quirk, black hole. I pull a small notebook out of one of my pockets along with a pen for their autograph. After I got it I put it away and apologized for my fanboy ways to go crazy. Though it looked normal, the notebook I got 13's autograph in was not normal. Aizawa, 13, and a few other worthy heroes' autographs made them unable to attack or be attacked by the League and anyone hired by it. After the whole Quirks Can Kill speech, 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 portal appeared letting hundreds of thugs, 𝗂𝐿, Shigaraki, and one of our Nomu. It was a new kind that could think on its own unlike previous ones but was still forced to obey higher-ranking members of the League. Of course Aizawa jumped down to fight them but only one charged at him. I had to hold in a chuckle as the guy bounced off an invisible wall and into the thugs behind him. I see MSTR has deemed you a true hero. No one from us, the 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 villains, can hurt you. 𝗂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, it's your turn. 𝗂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 nodded and teleported my classmates except for Momo and Dad to places where their quirks are useless. To make it seem like he tried to get us, I grabbed Momo and Dad, moving us to the side as a portal appeared where we were. I quickly dug through a pouch on my suit and pulled out a vial of 𝗬𝗚. Momo, they got everyone else and I bet they think they got us. May I inject you like I did my 𝗀𝗃? This is a speed quirk from a family friend so you can run for help. She nodded and held out her arm for me to bite her. I drank the vial and bit her, giving her the speed quirk. Izuku and I will distract them. When we do that you go, Dad said as he peeked out from where we were hiding. Momo kissed my cheek. Be careful, okay? I blushed but nodded before Dad and I jumped out and attacked the nearest group of thugs. We heard a whooshing noise signaling that she was gone, and then Shigaraki went off script. The vampire twins, we have been looking for you. Since your quirks manifested, people have put you down. Join us and help us rid the world of false heroes. Dad yelled. We won't join you, hand fetish. Seriously, why would we join someone covered in hands? I couldn't help but laugh as 𝗂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 covered his mouth while Shigaraki got said. I don't have a hand, FTSH. 𝗀𝐻, get them. 𝗀𝐻 charged at us much quicker than we expected. We kicked and punched him, making sure not to tire ourselves out or hurt him too badly. We may have given him a lot of powerful quirks, but we made sure we could still beat him. After a while, 𝗂𝐭𝐡𝐨 arrived along with Momo. Dad quickly kicked 𝗀𝐻 away and we used that time to get us and Momo to a safe spot. I told Momo and Dad to stay put as I rushed to the restroom. I blamed the reason on a side effect of quirk transfusion, but honestly I wanted to kill 𝗂𝐿 myself. Once I got to the restroom, I changed my outfit to my quirk hunting outfit and teleported into the room next to Shigaraki. Sorry I'm late, bud. 𝗀𝐻 told me to wait till he showed up. Shigaraki nodded. 𝗀𝐻, don't let All Might leave unless it's in a body bag. Have fun, fire opal. I nodded and formed fire opals all over my body, revealing myself as Endeavor's killer. This made 𝗬𝗓𝗏 and All Might take a couple of steps back. Eraserhead, 𝗬𝗓, don't worry. 𝗀𝐻 and I want you to live. False heroes must die though. I launched myself at All Might and started to cut him up with him dodging and punching as fast as he could. Soon steam started to leak out of his body before suddenly he was his real skeleton body again. I laughed. Villains are afraid of a skeleton. Oh my lord, this is hilarious. I'm going to enjoy this recording of your true form popping up on the news tomorrow. I point to the USJ cameras and as he looked at them with fear I cut off his arms. With him screaming in pain I walked over to the others. He isn't worth killing. Let's go. I warped back to the bathroom and changed back before rushing back to Dad and Momo. After the other pros appeared and they found us, I acted horrified when I saw armless 𝗀𝐿. I then looked at Snipe who had found us. Warehouse. Who is the armless man? He is, or was, since he must retire now, All Might, Snipe replied with a bit of glee in his voice. I hid my disgust and pulled out a second mini notebook and asked for his autograph. He gave it to me, then walked away as I put the notebook away. Momo lead me a bit away. That's a different notebook than before. Why do you have two almost identical books? I wasn't surprised she figured it out. Her quirk required her to notice the details. I make sure no one else can hear me. I have one for fake heroes and true heroes. Fakes become major targets for the League while true heroes are immune to us. Hence why 𝗬𝗓 and 𝐮𝐴𝐵 couldn't touch or be touched. I will explain more later. Your place tonight. Please let me explain before you tell the police. Momo kissed me on the lips. Izuku, even if you were the one to kill All Might I wouldn't turn you in. I chuckle and return the kiss. I did kill Endeavor after I found out he abused his kids. That's why 𝗂𝗏 is so nice to me. That and he knows I did it. All for one POV. After everyone was questioned and the injured, which at most was broken bones, were taken to the hospital, they let us go home. My son and Momo walked to her mansion together so he could tell her in private the truth about him, me, and the League. I walked home and told 𝗏𝐻𝐿 what happened. She was happy our plan worked and kissed me. Do you know how long Izuku will be at Momo's? 𝗏𝐿 asked as she gently pulled me down the hall. A few hours easily, I reply as I pick her up. Plenty of time for some alone time, hun. I quickly returned to my real form before All Might ruin my face and walked to our room. Hopefully Izuku takes a bit for alone time with Momo, but not likely. He is way too innocent. Izuku POV. I was sitting with Momo on her bed. My brother, as you know him, is actually my father and All Might's biggest enemy, All For One. The two of us are actually trying to make the world better. I was quirkless until a villain attacked me and my quirk manifested. A bit after I killed Endeavor as I stopped a bank robbery during a quirk hunt. Also, I lied about that BLD earlier. I just gave you a quirk I created using a fusion of my quirk and yours. Momo just listened as I told her everything I have done. She was surprised at some bits of it but accepted it all. She even forgave me for taking a copy of her quirk. When morning came and I had told her everything, I gave her a copy of all my quirks and headed out to head home. She stopped me when I got to the door. She asked why I was leaving since school was cancelled today and laughed as I showed her an image of my mom with a cast iron skillet on her lap. Okay, go home and tell your mom you have a girlfriend who's now part vampire. But first give me a kiss, Count Izuku of the Fire Opals. We were about to kiss when a portal popped out of nowhere and warped me into the middle of a park. I slowly stood up, dusted myself off as I looked around. Ida and Uraraka was there and they looked confused and worried. Uraraka walked over. You okay, Izuku? Do you need the porcelain cream FO fix your skin? She checked my arm and backed away into a fighting stance. Ida got between me and her. Uraraka, what's gotten into you? Izuku is our friend. That's not Izuku, his skin is real and warm. He isn't our gem-based friend. I thought for a bit, then rubbed my chin as I started to mutter. Okay, a few seconds ago I was with Momo when a portal popped out of nowhere and dragged me here. If there was a gem-based me here, that means he is with Momo. There is a chance that this is just a fever dream and I will just wake up next to Momo. Then again, the gem and porcelain me from here could be there freaking out. That means a machine or a quirk such our realities. Ida and Uraraka just waited for me to finish before Uraraka got impatient and suddenly my gravity increased, making me sink into the ground some. Wait, when could you increase something's gravity? Last time I saw you, all you could do was remove its gravity, I yelled as I tried to keep standing. After a bit, I used erasure to temporarily stop her quirk before I sit down on the ground breathing. Uraraka, did Gem Me boost your powers or did you always have this ability? She just glared at me as she kept trying to use her quirk. I then looked at Ida. Is Endeavor still alive and does All Might have his arms? Ida now prepared to fight. Both are fine, but what do you mean by still alive and All Might not having his arms? I flopped onto my back and sighed. Perfect, I am in another reality and the series of events of my life are different. Endeavor wasn't killed by a villain called Fire Opal and USJ wasn't attacked. Uraraka was now curious. Why would the Universal Studios Japan be attacked? I laughed and shook my head. Not that one. UA has a building called Unseen Situation Joint. It's where we train to deal with natural disasters. You have gone there, right? They both shook their head as they called someone. After a few minutes I was picked up by Ida before he ran me to UA and into the principal's office where I see some odd animal sitting in his chair. Hi, Principal Nizu. Or is it just an animal? If it's just an animal, I now look like a fool. It laughed. I am Principal Nizu and you were right, Ida, he does look like our friend Izuku, but his scent, posture, and mannerisms are different. Plus he has fangs, they are why his words have a slight hiss to them. Now let's see how his reality is different from ours. Nizu motioned for me to sit down in a chair and used the phone to ask someone to get us tea. So our USJ was attacked by villains in your reality. What exactly happened? We were just going there for training when the League of Villains attacked. They offered my brother and I a place with them since our shared quirk is seen as villainous. They then sent a creature they called Nomu after us until All Might arrived. That's when a hero killer called Fire Opal arrived and removed All Might's arms after revealing All Might's deflated true self to the world. They then just left with nothing more done to us students than a broken bone or two. For some reason Aizawa and 13 were untouchable. Nizu took that info in and some random person gave us tea. Nizu then had Ida go home before asking, I am guessing that in your world you are Fire Opal. I stayed quiet as he took that as a yes. So in your world you fell to the path of evil. Why was that? I sighed. Now I know if I ever meet my 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿 again I better be more careful. I was bullied until my quirk manifested as a sludge villain tried to kill me. All Might saved me but called the cops as I had my first ever hunger for BLD. I was interrogated and left in a solitary cell for a few hours until they were satisfied with my answers. My mom then took me to a quirk doctor where I learned I copied his and the villain's quirks. 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿 nodded. Makes sense, but I assume All Might didn't like that you copied it. Correct, he treated me like a villain, so I started hunting for quirks. I wouldn't kill anyone, only knock out. My first kill was a bank robber who nearly killed a few people before I stopped him. Endeavor instantly hated me and tried to kill me, so I had to kill him. 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿 started to laugh. So Endeavor is a pain no matter which reality he's in. Here Endeavor has just lost his hero's license and is in Tartarus for multiple life sentences. I chuckled. Honestly, I kinda wish that had happened in my world too. My current goal is to get rid of fake heroes and make the world truly equal if you have a quirk or not, and what it's like shouldn't chose your fate. Our 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿 has the same dream. I won't tell anyone about this, but I'm guessing you're also All For One's son too. Here our 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿 has been kidnapped and nearly killed because he is a living emerald. When people found out who his dad was, he was and still is attacked, treated with prejudice, and has to work very hard to be seen as a hero. I see you both have pure hearts, so when ours returns I will tell him that you were a hero in training as well. I laughed. That's actually the truth. I do want to be a hero, but I will destroy fake heroes and true villains as I release those falsely imprisoned. Is my dad still alive here? 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿 shook his head. He died, giving our 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿 every quirk he had. I'm guessing yours is still alive. I nodded and was then sent off to class since there was class for them still. 𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿𝐻 and 𝐀𝐿𝐻𝐿 asked me about their doubles in my reality. I told them that 𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿𝐻 is the same except for I can't boost quirks that well and that 𝐀𝐿𝐻𝐿 and I are dating. This made 𝐀𝐿𝐻𝐿 blush and 𝐿𝐿𝐻𝐿 mad for some reason. I noticed glares aimed at me and 𝐀𝐿𝐻𝐿 and sighed. Just because it's that way where I am from doesn't mean that it will happen here. I have a vampire quirk and yours is a walking fortune. That ended the glares and a few others asked me. 𝐀𝐿𝐻𝐿 then walked over. Is my father imprisoned in your world? No, your father died fighting a villain called Fire Opal in my world. 𝐵𝐻 got off easy in your world. I'm sure the 𝐀𝐿𝐻 in my reality would agree. He smiled and sat back down as I told everyone about my world. I of course left out my villain side. When I told them about what I did to cure 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿's perverted desires, they all glared at him. He literally wet himself and ran out the door screaming. For the next few days I went through classes and took notes down for 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿. It was nice, except Midnight and some other female heroes flirted with me and asked where my muscles went. When I told them I switched realities with their 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿, they apologized. I was also able to duplicate everyone's quirks, and even though I was having fun here, I missed my world. It was during lunch when a portal suddenly appeared, and I was in a void world with 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿. I know what you are, Fire Opal. Don't worry, I didn't turn you in. I was just happy to have Dad in my life for a while, even though I had to pretend he was my brother. Also, good luck with 𝐀𝐿𝐻𝐿, and sorry but I kinda kissed her. I just laughed. It's okay, Spite. I like that hero name. I will use it in my world too if that's okay. He nodded and handed me the notes he made for my classes in my reality. I give him the ones for his class. May I have copies of what quirks you have? I am curious what it is like to have a vampiric quirk. Let's both copy quirks, but I don't know if I can bite you. He put his arm out and let me somehow bite him and copy his quirks as I felt him copy mine through my teeth. After I let go, I was dumped into my world's lunchroom. 𝐀𝐿𝐻𝐿 quickly checked if it was me by checking for fangs. Calm down, 𝐀𝐿𝐻𝐿, you are a vampire too. You know how tempting it is to bite fingers that are put in your mouth. She hugged me and I told my class about the other world and that in it All Might was still a hero, Endeavor was in jail, and that in that world there is no Fire Opal or All For One. Some wanted to go see that reality and I told them that once I find out who swapped us I would see if they'll do it for them. I lied as I knew it was 𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐿 and I had no way to contact him. Maybe we will meet again and we will see how much our worlds have changed. 𝐬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 POV. The day after I returned from 𝗀𝐿 swapping us, we were given a week off of basic courses to train and make our quirk stronger. The reason was because of the sports festival is still going to happen even though All Might was armless and I killed Snipe with a sniper shot to the head. It was in public too. He was harassing Toga, who was doing nothing but carrying her groceries to the base. She screamed because of the bang and the bullet hitting her arm. I apologized afterwards and healed her to shut her up. She was furious. She tried to rip my head off, literally. Momo, Dad, Shoto, and I trained at Momo's mansion. It was funny when she got into her first BLD lust. She ran right at Shoto and broke everything we put in her way. It was like the very old cartoons where someone is so mad they can run through a safe. Luckily Dad recorded it and showed it to her after she drank some of Shoto's BLD. She was greatly embarrassed, but it made us all laugh more, until she hit us with a frying pan. I taught her how to use my quirks with her creating a new one which I bet Toga would love. By using the BLD of people that are bleeding, she can create what she nicknamed bleeder items, which are items of solid BLD. I quickly copied the quirk by kissing her, causing her to giggle. I would have handed it over silly, but the kiss was worth it. Will every good quirk I make reward me with a kiss? I laughed. I guess you'll have to find out. The league has a BLD lover who might try to date you now you made a quirk she will adore. She smirked. You're the only BLD lover for me. When the day of the festival started, the four of us were all excited. We all were ready for some fun. We decided that Shoto would get second with the three of us vampires getting first. The first challenge was an obstacle course. We all turned into bats and flew over the entire course, but we followed the path and dive-bombed different people to keep Shoto in the lead with signal dives at him which he avoided or blocked. We got our planned places and worked together during the cavalry battle. Everyone tried to steal our point band. I had Momo wear it and told them all my idea. If anyone ever got close, we would cut them and create a dome from their BLD, but we had to make sure not to drain them too much. Shoto instantly assumed 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 would try to beat me because he is still mad that I hid my quirk from him. Knowing him, he chose 𝐬𝐿 to create a bungee cord, Denki to shock us, and Kirishima because I am sure he has a crush on him. He makes a good battering ram. When the round was started, all of the groups came at us. My dad and I cut a few people and had Momo build the dome. We then just walked around with Shoto creating and melting ice, causing people to act like pucks at a hockey game or get stuck in the mud. Of course our thoughts about 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 were proven true. He had what we called the idiot squad. I had Momo create some holes in the dome just big enough for my voice to get through clearly. Hey 𝐀𝐿𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, why don't you just ask out Kirishima out already? I know you have a crush on him. 𝐀𝐿𝐿𝐴 and Kirishima was stunned for roughly 10 seconds. That's when he snapped and used his explosive quirk to come at us like a heat-seeking missile. When he got close enough, we jumped with the dome hitting him in the face. While we were in the air, and the stunned 𝐀𝐿𝐿𝐴 was reeled in like a fish, I had Shoto cut me just enough to turn the dome into a ball before it healed up. Once we landed, we became a literal bowling ball. The crowd was laughing as the other teams ran away as if we were the plague. What surprised me is that I heard 𝐼𝐿𝐴 laughing his butt off. Who knew the stoic teacher had a sense of humor? After our little bowling game knocking down a few teams, getting them disqualified, 𝐀𝐿𝐴 tried again. He grabbed and blasted at our ball until he was reeled back by his team. By the time the round was over, we had disqualified about 3/4 of all the teams, so it was much easier to find out who won and continues and who all lost. We were all lucky and put in different brackets, so we didn't have to fight each other till the semifinals if we all won. Once the matches were decided, we were all excused for lunch and to relax for a couple of hours. While we ate lunch, we heard people calling Dad and I freaks and that Momo was just a wannabe freak. I waited for the two main smack talkers to get close to us. Luckily it was 𝐻𝐼𝐿𝐴 and 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, pro heroes just in it for fame and money. Never willing to risk their lives for anything. When I started to sniff the air, so did Dad and Momo. Why do I smell testosterone, wood, and stupidity? I had to hold in a laugh as I replied, no clue Momo, I do want to find out what that tastes like though. My dad delivered the blow that set off the two heroes. Hopefully we don't gain the cowardice of the owners of those scents. It would be worthless for us to be weak when we pass all pro heroes. Suddenly the three of us were contained in a giant wooden cage. I sighed and grew my nails out, cutting us all free in about 5 seconds. Once the opening was big enough, we quickly moved behind the two. I yawned. Seriously? It's not legal for heroes to attack people for no reason. What made you attack us anyways? As 𝗧𝗓𝗏𝗡 replied, 𝗀𝗱𝗃 ran to get our teachers. You insulted us. How dare you call us cowards and stupid? The three of us looked at each other confused. Momo spoke first. I just said I smelt it, not that you guys were stupid. Thanks to 𝗧𝗬𝗃 making me a vampire like him, I can smell emotions and personalities. As that left her mouth, 𝗧𝗓𝗏𝗡 tried to punch her, only for me to grab his hand and hold it in place. You can see and smell him straining to punch, as I barely had a problem. Who do you think you are, attacking my brother and his girlfriend? Don't you think we have been through enough fighting that odd creature from the USJ? 𝗀𝐿𝐿 snapped. We just heard you planning an attack, so we stopped you. At least that's what we will report. He attempted to put us in another cage, but we moved behind him again. 𝗀𝐿𝐿 stop this. You'll be viewed as weaklings and false heroes if you keep this up. This made both try again, but my dad caught their attacks while Momo and I drained them just enough to make them pass out. Momo gagged. 𝗀𝐿𝐿 tasted like an expired salad. Mine tasted like rotten meat. That was gross. Next time we sample before we knock out by feeding. Police and teachers showed up, detaining us and the heroes. That's when a TV station reporter was actually on our side. She was about to record a report for the 10 o'clock news when instead she recorded our conversation and the fight. We were let go without punishment since our backs were to them before they attacked us. They were put in jail and indefinitely suspended from hero duty pending trial. Our classmates were worried, but 𝗀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 was hoping we were arrested to prove how evil and worthless our quirks are. This made my blood boil, which shocked Momo and my dad. Okay, you nuclear beach. How about you shut up and listen for once in your rage-filled life? My brother and I are not evil, and Momo was far from worthless before I made her like me. I hope to see you at the finals, where I will put you 60 feet under with a single punch. I threw 𝗀𝐿𝐿 into his locker, causing it and the few connected to it to bend and compress like it was aluminum foil. I then marched out to the stands, where I stayed until the match started. 𝗀𝗱𝗃 took him to the nurse as I cursed him under my breath. When the matches started up, I won each of mine using one blow each time, not moving an inch. Dad and Momo at least gave their opponents a chance to at least try to hurt them. When 𝗀𝗱𝗃 and my dad were supposed to fight 𝗀𝐿𝐿, they backed away, saying he needed all the help possible against me. When Momo and I were to fight, she kissed me, then left the ring. People were confused when she vanished and 𝗀𝐿𝐿 appeared. Time for my fun and to ruin 𝗀𝐿𝐿's stupid ego. Should have let him die when my team attacked USJ, but then again, this is much more fun. I smirked evilly. Momo, get him his stupid-looking gauntlets, please. She quickly grabbed them, tossed them to 𝗀𝐿𝐿, then kissed me. Kick his butt, hun. My sweet vampire bride, you know I will. She ran up to the stands as President Mike was yelling at 𝗀𝐿𝐿 to put the gauntlets away. Let him use them, I will allow it, and let him use any other gear he wants. He's not a challenge otherwise. This was enough to shut him up and make 𝗀𝐿𝐿 even angrier. Extend the fight time allowance, please. I want both of his gauntlets full of his sweat so he has more of a chance. I yell at President Mike while I sit down waiting for the gauntlets to be charged. Once they were, 𝗀𝐿𝐿 charged me and fired one at my face point blank. All I remember is his hand in my face and then slowly standing up. What I was told later was that he blew my head to smithereens and all that was left was my neck. Then over the course of about 15 seconds my head regenerated back and I stood up. Wow, 𝗀𝐿𝐿, I honestly thought you'd go for my stomach, not my head. I guess you're more of a villain than you know. I pop my shoulders and neck as I slowly walk over. How are you still alive, you freak? I turned your head into a Fangs smear on the ground. I laughed like a crazy person as I kept walking. I am not just a simple vampire, you stupid half-witted porcupine. I am the ultimate vampire, nothing can kill me, not even the queen of vampires. I punched the ground in front of him, causing a 60-foot crater to appear around and under 𝗀𝐿𝐿. Once he was in it, President Mike said I won. When the award ceremony was done by midnight, the R-rated hero Momo got third, 𝗀𝐿𝐿 second, and me in first. As she handed me my medal, she whispered, "How about you dump her and go on a date with me?" Momo of course heard and very angrily hissed at her. This made me laugh slightly. Sorry Midnight, but my queen has spoken. It's best not to make a vampire's bride mad. According to legend, if they get jealous they will drain the youth, beauty and intelligence from the one who caused it. Midnight nodded. Sorry Momo, didn't mean to offend you. It's just that eternal youth is very tempting. Momo shrugged and grabbed me by the arm, leading us to her favorite restaurant to celebrate. We grabbed Dad and Shoto along the way as I called Mom to have her meet us there. 𝐬𝐿, don't vampires usually have at least 3 brides? Momo asked randomly through the meal. This made me choke on my rare steak, my dad to sputter, Shoto to laugh and my mom to gush. If my 𝐬𝐿 gets many brides I can have lots of grandkids. 𝐴𝐻𝐿, don't influence our son. If he wants multiples so be it, but to make it legal is impossible, Dad stated as he collected his wits. Shoto then asked, if that's true can you make me a vampire too? I have my eyes on a few girls. Shoto, that's not happening. I don't know what will happen to you if I change you. You might end up my second bride. This made him shrug. I'm bi so I don't mind to be a test subject. This made the entire table go quiet in shock. Shoto looked confused. I thought you knew. Seriously, I've been flirting with you since you helped me out. Shoto, you need to work on your flirting and your infatuation is just because I freed you from you, Dad. That reminds me, I found your other brother. He was the scared-up boy with blue fire from the incident. Shoto hugged me. Please tell me you can talk him into talking with me a game. Dad laughed. Dobby, as he goes by now, was curious if you'd meet him even though he is a villain. I'm sure you two can meet soon. Momo smirked. 𝐬𝐿, if you do get more brides can I get multiple husbands? I began to growl. You will be mine and mine alone. She laughed saying she was joking and she's okay with me getting a 𝐻𝐻𝐿 as long as she is top wife. This made everyone else laugh as I blushed a red darker than BLD. Once they stopped, Shoto moved to the seat next to me. Go ahead, okay, curious if I end up a bride or not. I shook my head. Not here, Shoto. If I do it here we will cause a big scene. Momo was miming and squirming as I made her my bride. This made Momo blush darkly as the rest of the table teased her until my mom asked, so you're no longer a virgin? This made Momo and I spit out our drinks. We didn't do stuff like that. I just bit her neck and injected her with quirks and some venom I felt my fangs make. Not my fault she's into biting. We all chatted and joked till we all went to our respective homes. I sat on my bed and thought about what Momo and Shoto said. Me with multiple brides. Who would I choose? What all does my venom do? Could I trust them with my secret? Eventually Momo showed up in my window and crawled in. Hun, are you okay? I felt how on edge you were and flew over as fast as I could. I hugged her. I'm sorry, Momo. I didn't mean to keep you up. Now we know my brides feel my emotions. We talked through the night. Eventually we figured out an amount of what all the venom did. Brides can't lie to me, and if I give an order they must obey. Also we assume they must be willing to become a bride to be one. I decided to attack a random couple, turning both of them into my brides. This proved that I can create brides of either gender, willing or not. With a simple test I could undo it, and I used a memory erasing quirk to make them forget. I let Momo try to make a bride, but she just created a regular vampire. When they started to burn in the sunlight she undid it and healed them as I made them forget. My original quirk is still a mystery on its limits and all it does. I have many fans and enemies already. Now who should I make into my vampire army? 𝐬𝐿, I walked into class with Momo as we finished our little chat about my bridal bite, as we called it. We got into our seats and waited for 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 to walk in or roll in. After about half an hour of waiting I had Momo make him a gift. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 walked in after it was done and looked at the present box. The paper was his usual black with yellow ribbons. When he pulled out a sleeping bag with sleeves and legs, even I had trouble keeping up with him as he put it on. 𝐬𝐿, Momo, thank you both, but you could have waited a few minutes to give it to me. Once everyone was in the classroom he explained that the festival was also used to get people into classes that better suit them and to get hero agencies to notice students that could fit their ideals. Then once the festival is done teachers tally up who all got invited to intern at different agencies and put them in the proper bags or boxes. He then invited Midnight into the room. Hello students. Today we all need to choose your hero names. Just remember this name might stick with you. An example is 𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐻. She then handed everyone marker boards with dry erase markers. I quickly walked up with mine. I'm going to use 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's name. Spite, the fanged hero. I actually meet him before we swapped back and asked permission. Midnight was confused. What do you mean by 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫? Oh, I guess he was only in the morning classes for a day. He activated a dimensional swapping quirk. He and I switched places the morning after the USJ event. He was a living emerald with a CRP ton of quirks. We were actually in a void world for a while as he told me of a few. His father was a villain called All For One and he became a hero anyways. The name made Midnight and 𝐻𝐿𝐴 flinch. Is there a villain by that name? They said not anymore and had everyone else continue choosing their names. Momo chose Vampire's Bride and my dad chose Fangs For All. All of us spent the rest of the day going through our invites and choosing which agencies we would go to. Once we were out of school for the day, we decided to spread out where we would go and make sure we stayed away from Hosu. We had a plan for the town and we don't want to get caught up in it as our hero selves. 𝐻𝐿𝐴. I walk home from school as a greenish-blue portal suddenly appeared in front of me. Out came another me with a holographic visor and keyboard. We looked at each other and he sighed. Can I only go to realities where I exist? I just met 𝐀𝐮𝐵 and now I'm looking at. What's your quirk? I laughed showing my fangs. So you and 𝐀𝐮 both were curious about a new quirk. Was yours called sliders too? He was stunned. Wait, he had multiple quirks. Then I only have one. Call me 𝐶𝐵_𝐬𝐿𝐴, that's what 𝐀𝐮_𝐬𝐿𝐴 called me. That's when Momo landed next to me and sighed. Another you. Hun, are you going to dimension hop as well? I kissed her. Of course not, my vampire queen. I would like to see 𝐀𝐮_𝐬𝐿𝐴 again but not for a while. This is 𝐶𝐵_𝐬𝐿𝐴, he only has one quirk. She looked him over and shrugged before heading home. I lead 𝐶𝐵 to my home. Mom was using her greatly boosted telekinesis quirk to make supper as she cleaned some BLD from the carpet. Hey 𝐻𝐿𝐴-hun. Another on. Is he also a son of AFO? 𝐶𝐵 shrugged. No clue. My dad left when I was deemed quirkless. I just got my quirk roughly a week ago. This impressed both me and my mom. Wow, I'm sorry you couldn't get into UA this year. I'm not sure what to call you, Mom said as she finished cleaning and hugged 𝐶𝐵. 𝐶𝐵 chuckled. Actually, summer break just started in my world. I'm 𝐶𝐵_𝐬𝐿𝐴. My quirk is the code. I pointed at his visor and keyboard. So these are your quirk and not technology. He nodded happily as he pulled out a notebook. After placing it on a table, he typed on his keyboard, making it duplicate. I received the copy. As he took the original, erased some tech designs to help you out. Just to warn you now, the charged solar sail cells are explosive once fully charged. I thanked him and thought for a second. 𝐶𝐵, do you want to meet my dad? He may not be yours in your world, but I think a few hours with him will fill the void. He nodded. I hope it's okay with him. I don't want to intrude. Dad then made himself known walking out of the bathroom. He was in twin form, so 𝐶𝐵 was confused. Wait, you have a twin here? That is awesome. We all laughed as Dad returned to his adult form. No, I'm actually 𝐵𝐴𝐴's dad. We are somewhat extremist vigilantes and I'm an ex-villain, so the disguise is needed. Wait, 𝐵𝐴𝐴. Does that mean your quirk is vampiric in nature? I nodded and he figured out that I made Momo a vampire bride. 𝐶𝐵 and Dad played for a little bit before 𝐶𝐵 held out his arm. I don't know if my BLD will help your hunger, but if it does, it's the least I can do. I bit him and copied his quirk before I hugged him. He said goodbye and headed home soon after with a big smile. Next time another you shows up, text me, Mom said as she floated the cast iron pan near my head. I instantly promised to before I teleported to my room. I checked his blueprints and smiled at them. That version of me had stuff ranging from a solar-powered flying surfboard to a suit of armor that fits into a necklace. Using his quirk is interesting, but I'll save it for emergencies. Just having it boosted my intelligence like crazy, so I began to plan our next little event. I knew we would have a summer training camp, so I decided we would use it to get rid of some false heroes in my school and cause chaos. Dad, I planned our next target. We will hit the summer camp. Do you have that mind-altering drag still? I asked as I headed into the kitchen where Momo, Mom, and Dad was sitting at the table to eat supper. Hun, don't answer. No work talk over supper. Now Izuku, hurry up. I made us katsudon with BLD broth. Awesome, thanks Mom. How are you adjusting to the quirks? She smiled, showing her fangs. It's almost like I always had them. Oh yeah, I looked into our family quirk history. I hop into my seat and get ready to eat. Find anything interesting? She nodded. A few actually. We have a vampire quirk, an intellectual quirk, and a strength quirk in our history. I'm guessing you somehow got them all in one. Dad was stunned. That is very impressive. I'm from the original quirk generation, so no history in mine. That means you're over 1,000 years old, Momo stated as she finished her katsudon. He nodded and smirked. Yep, and thanks to Izuku, even if I serve 2,000 life sentences, I can outlive them. By the way, Izuku, going to get more brides? I choked on my food, making everyone laugh. I think I will get May from the support class and Midnight. Both will be very useful. May can build what 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 gave us, and having a pro hero in the ranks is always good. Plus, she wants eternal youth. Dad nodded as we all finished eating. Chose carefully, son. They might betray you. I smirked. They can't. Momo and I tested it out. When I make them my brides, they will obey me no matter what. Plus, I can have Momo bite them instead and not give them a sunlight immunity as a threat if they try. Izuku POV, I smirk as I head into a nearby hero agency. My plan was to work under a retired hero called 𝐸𝐸𝐴. His quirk it to create BLD drinking plants that he used to knock out villains. While I was under his teachings, I had Momo under Night Eye with a quirk to block his future sight, and my dad in another one where he is under 𝗚𝗚𝗟𝐿ady. He personally wanted her just to PSS off my Netta and a few other perverts. The first say and night of being 𝗸𝐸𝐴's intern was so boring. All I did was be a bloody gopher. Yes, I intended the pun. Once the little fetch quests were done, I had to deliver messages and sometimes gadgets to heroes and sidekicks of the agency. Momo was pretty much doing the same. Dad didn't report in for a while, but I heard that 𝗚𝗚𝗟𝗡 was taking a few days off. The day of the Hosu raid couldn't come any sooner since it meant the summer camp would happen not long after. When the day came, I left a clone to deal with the stupid gopher work and warped to our meeting spot. Momo was already there and filling her nails, which she painted emerald green. Hey, my fanged king. What took you so long? I sighed. I couldn't find Midnight. I wanted to get her before this raid. Momo kissed me, biting my bottom lip. Don't fret, you'll get her tomorrow. Now where is our father? That's when he walked out of the portal with a vampire bride 𝗚𝗚𝗟𝗡. Demon Dad, you work fast. Is Mom okay with it? 𝗚𝗚𝗟𝗡 gasped. Wait, what? Dad smirked. I'm all for one, and you are now my vampire bride. From now on you will obey me, my son, my real wife, and my future daughter-in-law. She simply nodded as he revealed his real body. Now we can begin. Dad give 𝗚𝗚𝗟𝗡 gem calling and bunny aspects. I think a gem quirk bunny would be fun to have. He bit her as I kinda ordered him to. Pigeon's BLD gems formed over her body in the form of a Playboy bunny outfit. She formed bunny ears and tail, which were bedazzled while she got a mask. Dad smirked. Was this what you meant, son? I shrugged. She's not my type, but my Netta would kill for a picture of this. I took some pictures and saved them for later. Momo slapped me. Izuku, what are you doing? I'm making myself some money. Who wouldn't love some CC pictures of a villainous? I'll use Photoshop to get rid of Dad from them or edit in his disguise. We laughed as 𝗚𝗚𝗟𝗡 realized what we are. She tried to run away, so I just told her to return and kneel. Thanks to Dad telling her to obey me, she did. Vampire brides can't disobey their husbands. Now let's destroy Hosu. Stain must join us or be killed by Anomo. I grew my fire opal shell and smirked. Let's get going, hun. Dad want to include Mom. I think she would have fun killing the American hero who abused his wife. My mom laughed from behind me. I already planned on it, sweetie. Should I destroy his ball or his hands first? I turned and saw my mom in an emerald ninja outfit with red trim and fire opal weapons. Momo smirked. Both? Glue his hands to his ball, then destroy them. The lady began to shake as my mom looked her over. Sweetie, I agree, she is hot. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 think pictures of me and 𝐿𝐵 would make us money. I groaned, leave those up to Dad. Just remove all birthmarks, tattoos, etc. The 5 of us teleported to Hosu and I found our targets. I used my quirks to create 20 𝗏𝗡 that could rival All Might in his prime. Some could fly, others had built-in weapons, and a few with my classmates' quirks just to rub some salt into people's egos and make people worry about their kids in UA. Dad chuckled, son, you are awesome at being evil. Dad, I am only evil to purify this corrupt world. Momo make the quirkless finding drones. Tag our soon-to-be overpowered recruits. Momo kissed me, of course Fire Opal. She formed emeralds over her body as she created and sent out the drones. I watched the drones fly out and mark people with slightly radioactive pellets that feel like bug bites to those hit. We all split up as my dad formed his face into before I fixed him and had 𝐿𝐵. The villain 𝗏𝐵 follow him. I hopped into an alley and looked at 𝗧𝗱. Hello 𝗧𝗱, it's nice to finally meet you. 𝗧𝗱 sighed, Fire Opal, I wondered when you would try to kill me. I laughed, why would I kill a man who sees false heroes as what they are? I know you liked All Might, but he told a quirkless boy his dreams were CRP and imprisoned him right after his quirk suddenly manifested from nearly being killed. Like I would believe a villain. All Might is a true hero. I showed him the day my quirk manifested using 𝗧𝗫𝗍𝐻's quirk. It shook 𝗧𝗱 as he saw the truth about All Might. How he really looks, how he imprisoned me when my quirk manifested, and how he glared at me. That can't be real, All Might. I sigh and create gem chairs for us to sit in. Unfortunately, I can't doctor my own memories. I was that boy who was put in jail because he hated me. He apologized later once he realized once I had copied his quirk. 𝗧𝗱 shook his head, you killed a few fake heroes and showed me something that heroes would hide. I would like to join you. I shook his hand and boosted his 𝐵LD quirk. Thank you for joining the League of Reform. I just boosted your quirk, now 𝐵LD type doesn't affect it and it now lasts 10 minutes. I warped us both to our waiting spot for the other 4 to finish their jobs. Inko POV, I watch my assigned 𝗏𝗡 bring me my target. His hero name is 𝗏𝗏𝗟𝗘 for his ability to summon guns that fire miniature stars. For an awesome power, he could have been a really good hero, but he beat his wife to death and left America to escape punishment. When the 𝗏𝗡 dumped him, I chuckled. Hello 𝗏𝗏𝗟𝗘, or should I say 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Yes, I know who you are and that you killed your wife after a few years of abusing her. He groaned, who are you, you stupid-looking beach? I kicked him in the face, call me Mother Opal. I will be your death as my son agrees you are a fake hero. He had the audacity to laugh. I kicked him in his ball and used 2 daggers to pin him to a nearby wall after I picked him up. What pathetic beach lets her son order her around? I chuckled as I formed a giant Fire Opal hammer. I believe you've watched him kill 𝗏𝗏𝗏, he is Fire Opal. Too bad you won't tell anyone about what I just said. What does that mean, beach? I swung the hammer, crushing his ball and hands completely. The sound of bones breaking actually was very therapeutic. His scream of pain sounded like music to my ears. The next targets were his legs, both of them. Go to hell, beach, I hope you and your son burn. I laughed as I whispered in his ear, we are immortal, you fool. Also tell Satan his sister says hi. With surprise on his face, I crushed his face with my hammer, killing him instantly. Using his 𝐵LD, I wrote out his crimes along with his name. With that done, I left my calling card, which is an opal skull with emeralds for eyes. I then decided to write Mother Opal in his 𝐵LD next to the skull, leaving the hammer and daggers there as well. I then warped to Izuku. You must be 𝗧𝗱, I am glad you joined us. My son looks up to you. I'm Mother Opal. 𝗧𝗱 looked confused. Your mother is a villain too. Izuku laughed. She joined me after I killed 𝗏𝗏𝗏. She agrees with me, especially after having to bandage me up from being bullied. I nodded, and now to wait for my husband, my future daughter, and our converted heroine. POV, I smirk as I walk down the street with 𝗏𝐵 following closely behind. After a bit I saw a native, 𝗏𝗏𝗟𝗘, 𝗏𝗏𝗟𝗃, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Jr., who has his father's quirk. Hello again, 𝗏𝗏𝗟𝗃, do you remember me? The old fool fell onto his butt. It can't be. All Might killed you over 6 years ago. I chuckled. The news of my death was greatly exaggerated. Oh, how I wanted to use that line since All Might destroyed my skull and face. Native tried to attack me only to have 𝗀𝐿 jump on front of me and kick his head off. Nice to see my pet doing her job. Let me kill the next one. As you wish, 𝗀𝐿𝐴𝐵. Honestly, I hated him. He groped me multiple times. These gem shoes work awesome with my bunny Quirk. Miriko will be so jealous. As she finished that sentence, the rabbit hero showed up. I kissed my pet. Go play but don't kill. She is a true hero and my son wants her alive. I chuckled as the two bunny Quirked girls fought and destroyed some cars. Now, old friend, I saw what my son did to All Might. It was so good to see. Are you and him still mad about Nana? With that, 𝗀𝗚𝗏 came at me like a rocket. He tried to attack me by bouncing off the walls to attack me from behind. When he got close, I used laser farts to kill him, cutting off his head. What a way to go, death by farts. So 𝗏𝗏 Jr., 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which one of you is next? Either way, both of you die. 𝗏𝗏 Jr. was the first to attack, trying to kill me. I dodged his shot and smirked as 𝗀𝐿𝐴𝐵 brought over and knocked out Miriko. Good girl. Bring her to my son. She then quickly hopped away faster than even the Flash from the old comic books can go. Once she was gone, I teleported behind 𝗏𝗏 Jr. and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 to kill them quickly. When they started to turn, I copied their quirks and knocked off their heads with a simple bitch slap. After they bled out, two flame-based heroes came at me. Endeavor's previous sidekicks. Are you sure you want to fight me? I just killed 3 heroes without my eyes or breaking a sweat. When they ran away, I cut off their heads with an axe made of fire opals. I dropped the axe after using their BLD to write All For One on it. Once that was over, I warped back to my son. I did my job and so did my pet. She will arrive here soon with your own little bunny. Momo POV, I began to move civilians out of harm's way as heroes fought 𝗂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. I moved the Quirked into the square where a giant TV was already set up. I moved the Quirkless to the stadium where they would meet my boyfriend. Once the entire town was sorted, I went to Izuku. The sorting is done. We just need you to start it. Did a target show up? Izuku nodded as 𝗀𝐿𝐴𝐵 showed up with Miriko. He bit her, making her his bride unknowingly before he just left her on a nearby roof. I then noticed 𝗀𝗏 was behind him. Oh, hello 𝗀𝗏. I am 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏, Fire Opal's girlfriend and partner in crime. 𝗀𝗏 sighed. Anyone else going to show up, or is this everyone? I know villain families existed, but this is a new one. Izuku laughed. If this goes as planned, a lot more will be joining us. Now for the last step of this plan. You can go to the square or follow us. He summoned a portal and headed into it with all but 𝗀𝗏 following him. Izuku POV, I walked out of my portal and onto a stage built in the stadium. People in the stands screamed and tried to run, but I stopped them by making fire opal walls. Dear Quirkless residents of Hosu, don't worry, I am not here to hurt you. For those who don't know me, I am Fire Opal and I am here to right a wrong in this world. You all have been looked down at, beaten, ignored, or treated like trash. Today I want to change it so that no longer happens. For those who wish for a quirk, just raise your hand and swear to help me fix this world. As people murmured and talked to each other, I lowered the walls. I will not force you to join me, you may leave if you want to. For those who want useful quirks that will be used to make this world better, just stay and raise your hands. Now before you all decide, I will tell you why I am doing this. I will make it as short as simple as possible. The murmuring stopped. I used to be quirkless until a new death experience made my quirk manifest. Until that day I was bullied by those with quirks. I was burned, cut, lifted into the air and dropped, and the teachers did nothing. That's right, I am a young adult who knows what the world is like. Heroes causing thousands in property damage, killing innocent people, and not getting punished. Villains or people we see having villainous quirks are basically arrested on sight. Now that leaves us quirkless, we get treated so badly we commit suicide way more than the quirked population. The people trying to figure out why don't get it. The truth is we hate being different from the quirked ones. Because of us lacking one thing, we all get targeted. I saw my own friends who were also quirkless jump to their deaths. My goal is to end quirklessness and purge corrupt fake heroes from the system. Now you may go or join me. For those who join, you may live your life as you use to just protect others with the gift of quirks. Don't stand by when someone is being seen as a villain when they are not. Help me make this world a better place. I finish and look at all the quirkless in the stadium. After a lot of talking, only one left and the rest stood up raising their hands. I gave most of them quirks that would suit their jobs and still be able to be useful in a fight. The 3 I didn't give quirks to I teleported out of the stadium. I'm sorry, but those 3 were as corrupt as 𝗏𝗏. Now my friends, to a better world. I bowed and warped my family and 𝗏𝗏 to the town square. We stood on a giant TV as I hacked into it. Dear original quirk holders, I am 𝗏𝗏. I will not harm you unless you try to fight me. The media views me as a villain yet praises heroes who destroy and kill without any remorse. In truth, I am a vigilante turned villain because I killed heroes who were so corrupt there was no hope. My goal is to make everyone truly equal. To do that, I will destroy the lines of what is a villainous quirk and what is a hero's quirk, as well as change your views of the quirkless. I began to show videos of quirkless protecting mutant quirk holders only to get beat and kicked away. The quirkless in these videos were protecting their friends and family who were good citizens. There was no need for them to be beaten to death by so-called heroes. In the video with the lizard mutant quirk, that villain ran the local soup kitchen and donated all of his free time to make the community better. He was also a friend of mine. He was killed saying that he wasn't a villain. The hero didn't care, she just wanted to fill her quota. The 4-armed man with blue skin, he taught quirkless how to defend themselves. He was attacked because he looked evil. He lost 2 of his arms and his ability to walk before the hero listened. I jumped down into the crowd, causing everyone to part around me like the Red Sea. You all run from what you don't understand. My appearance is not real, just a bit of my quirk. If I didn't disguise myself, you'd all walk by thinking I was just a normal person. That is the trick fake heroes use. They make you think they're doing what's best for us, but really they are just lining their pockets. All Might was like them too. I was one of his fans. I owned thousands of dollars worth of his merchandise, but what does he do when I asked if I could be a hero with my quirk? He put me in jail. I warped over to a man with a flaming skull. This guy, his power is known as 𝗏𝗏. His power can only be used to hurt people with evil hearts. If you didn't know that, you'd say, he's a villain. I warped to a guy who is a novice hero. This hero is known as Neon Flash. You think he is a good guy, correct? Wrong, he robs banks in his free time and has killed 500 innocent mutant quirks and quirkless. I warped up to my family for the finale. This is my family. My mom works like everyone else, but since her quirk was weak, she has to work twice as hard. This is my father, all for one. He was only a villain after heroes showed up. He wanted to bring balance and order to the world the only way he could. He used his quirk to get stronger and put all villains under his thumb so that they wouldn't kill people for no reason. He controlled evil to save lives, not cause chaos. He actually tried to make peace with heroes as they popped up. You all can see what that got him. I moved behind 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏. My girlfriend 𝗏𝗏 was blind to the truth until she met me. She thought the world was black and white until she saw there was a gray area. 𝗏𝗏 is a pro-hero who is now a vigilante like us to help straighten heroes from the inside. We are here to make true peace. No more theft, killing, or quirk elitists. We will reset this world and give all with pure hearts and goals quirks while removing the quirks from those without. This last bit is aimed at fake heroes. You know who you are, and with our growing power your reign of evil is over. With that we warped away. Once we were safe at my home, we all changed out of our disguises and I made 𝗏𝗏 able to establish between her 2 alter egos and her civilian form. I kissed Momo and took her to my room for the rest of the night and the next morning, not caring what my mom, dad, and his vampire bride did. But I do know this, none of us got any sleep.